following program is an exclusive Disruption Networks production.
Hey, it's Adeline Van Dyke from Coldwell Banker Faith Properties in Utica. I always get asked, why do I love real estate? It's very simple. I love my clients. I love every single thing about helping them find or sell their home. Making sure the home is solid and ready for sale or solid and ready for the buyer's inspection. To making sure that they're getting the best rate on their mortgage. Making sure they're getting the best price on their house. You know, just everything involved in the sale is vital. My absolute favorite part of real estate is when a buyer walks into the house they're going to buy. I can feel it before they even know they're loving the house. It's just that obvious. So I'd love to experience that feeling with you. So give me a call. Adeline Van Dyke, Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-404-6431. Or you can find me on Facebook or visit my website at centralnewyork.com/Adeline. Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you home.
When it's your hard-earned money on the line that you are investing into a home, it makes sense to choose a proven professional to assist you in making one of the biggest investments you may ever make. Josh's dedication of over 20 years to the home construction industry allows him to bring knowledge and experience to your doorstep. That means you can feel confident and comfortable with his service to you. Past clients love his attention to detail and thorough written reports. By allowing Priceless Inspections to help you make a well-informed decision concerning your property, you will find that a quality inspection is priceless. Follow Priceless Inspections on Facebook or call 315-525-8725.
Hi, this is attorney Nick Pasalacqua. The team of attorneys I have assembled at Pasalacqua & Associates has been carefully hand-picked to include the best trial attorneys in the particular areas of the law that we practice. Have you been charged with DWI or any other crime? Members of our team include former assistant district attorneys, now fighting to protect your rights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have you or someone you love been seriously injured in a motor vehicle accident? Members of the team at Pasalacqua & Associates include former insurance defense attorneys, now fighting to ensure that you get every penny you're entitled to. If you need legal help quick, don't waste your time or money calling anyone else. Remember, for legal help quick, you better call Nick and the team at Pasalacqua & Associates. 315-500-NICK or 315-500-6425 or visit cnytriallaw.com today.
In the Mohawk Valley, for the best real estate service, you gotta have faith. Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-735-2222 or www.centralnyhomes.com.
Yo, law infidels, that's right. It's Hacker Hameen.
This is Al Schneer from the band Mo.
Hey, this is Corey Glover from Living Color.
And you're listening to EC Radio.
And you're listening to EC Radio.
Live on EC Radio with the Z-Man. So take the pizza out of your fat moron mouse. Sit back and listen before I give you a $5 face slap. You'll never forget, infidels. YOLO.
Welcome to EC Radio Podcast. We would like to thank all of our sponsors for joining the Disruption team, and we hope that you will support all of our sponsors. And of course, we appreciate you listening to this program.
EC Radio, Disruption Networks. EC Radio, Disruption Networks.
Hola, amigos. I cut that short again, chicken. I got to get the hang of all this new equipment. It's EC Radio. What's happening, everybody? We live on the D. DisruptionNetwork.net. Check out the all-new website. It's up there. It's live, and it is delivering some kick-ass content that we have been known to do here around the D. It's me, Chicken.
What's up?
Hi, Chicken.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. Yourself?
I am doing good. Before we get into anything, we got to introduce our guests a little bit. I want to give some love and respect out to our sponsors. We got to give some love and respect out to our man, Josh Amodio, Priceless Inspection. A good quality home inspection is priceless. Call Josh today, 315-525-8725. If you want to put your home on the market, or maybe you want to update your home, or maybe you're buying a home, have Josh come in, do the inspection for you. He's efficient, pays attention to details. He really gets in there. He knows the construction business very, very, very well. So give him a call today, 315-525-8725. Also give some love and respect out to Coldwell Banker Faith Properties Real Estate. When it comes to buying a home in the Mohawk Valley, you got to have faith. Call them today, 315-735-2222. And for commercial and residential property listings, log on centralnyhomes.com. And also our big sponsor from our previous St. Patrick's Day party that we had over the weekend. We got to give some love and respect out to Nick Pasalacqua. For legal help quick, you better call Nick. Call attorney Nick Pasalacqua and his team, Pasalacqua and Associates, at 315-500-NICK or cnytriallaw.com.
So if you're stupid enough to drive on Saturday and you get yourself a little bit of trouble, call Nick.
Call Nick. That's right. Nick will help you any way he can, for sure. We had him on last week, and he was very knowledgeable about the whole DWI thing. So,
amongst others.
Amongst other things,
A lot of great information on that interview.
You need legal help quick, you better call Nick. Joining us in the studio today, my friend, my homeboy, my compadre, my brother from another mother. I have to turn on his mic because I don't know if it's it's on. My man Dan Williams from the Barden Mudfest. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Z, awesome being here.
I feel like I haven't seen you since, maybe Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. I can't believe we're doing this again already.
I know. You know, you were my first guest ever on EC Radio.
Really?
Do you know that? Yeah, it was January 30th last year.
Oh, you popped your cherry.
You were my very first guest ever on this program when we were in the closet. We were in the closet together.
Now you're out of the closet.
It worked. Yeah, it's good being out of the closet, isn't it?
How you like the new digs, though?
Oh, this is awesome, man. This is a big upgrade. I like this.
Yeah.
A ton of new equipment.
New equipment, state of the art. We definitely not Bush League anymore, that's for sure.
Tons of room for activities. You know?
Yeah.
Lots of activities. So we've been hyping up the Barden Mudfest for the last couple of months now. It's happening on April 14th, MKJ Farms, Deansboro. This is the 6th annual Barden Mudfest. I can't believe 6 years have gone by that fast.
I know, really. It's unbelievable. And then we have these things that happen in the news, obviously, again today, and it just keeps, kind of driving our bus, if you will. I mean, it definitely, at times, it feels like every year we've had to push the boulder up the mountain to make this happen. And when something like this happens, like again today, it really just, gets me energized and motivated to make it another successful year.
And we see Mark Barden's been out in the news lately, too. He was with Trump.
Oh, yeah, he was in the White House.
Right after the Parkland shooting.
Yep.
Talking about gun control. And so he's out there, advocating.
Yeah, and there's I've actually, so through, we can talk, we're certainly going to talk a bunch of Mudfest, but this year's been very interesting. I've been in, let's see, I just did VVS. So we have a Barden Adventure Scholarship. That's so we take the proceeds from the Mudfest, and we send 16 kids on a 78-mile canoe trip through the Adirondacks from Blue Mountain Lake to Tupper.
That's awesome.
Thank you, man. And it's been great. I was in Morrisville this year, and I'm talking to 8th graders and like, who's this old creepy guy trying to sell me some 78-mile hard trip, without my cell phone. And then I get this kid, Tanner, up there from last year, and I'm like, hey, Tanner, how'd the trip go for you? And he's like, guys, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm like, you been to Disney World, Tanner? And he's like, oh, way better than that. Just, and it just about moves me to tears to hear these stories from these kids now. And this is year 4 of that program. Mm-hmm. So I've been going into these schools, and I'm seeing the safety things they've implemented. Now, this is so this is the 5th time I've gone in. This will be the 5th group that goes, I think. No, 4th group. So it's the 4th year of going into schools, and I've seen their security get better, but yet I still feel like it could happen. I mean, I feel like if I wanted to be a bad guy, I could still make bad stuff happen. Mm-hmm. And so as I'm talking to these kids this year, it was right after Parkland, I'm like, guys, this is affecting you. This is your environment. And you guys need to speak up and be a part of this solution. And the only thing I can get to that I think will help is each one of these schools has to think of themselves as a community. Mm-hmm. Yes. And if you've got, we can't fight this on a national level. I think there's things we can do, but back when I was a kid, I remember this one kid, Ron, was getting picked on in school by another kid, and he took his lock off his locker and he knocked this kid's teeth in with it. And I'll tell you what. today, you do that same thing. You don't know what's going to happen. That kid might come with a gun and he might do something horrific. And so I'm saying to him, you guys have to be good to each other.
Yeah.
You've got to look out for that kid. And that was Daniel Barden. Daniel Barden was the kid that held the door, that helped people up, and I'm going to try to carry that legacy on, through our mud run. And
It kind of reminds me when I was a kid, we used to go on take the BOSI bus to school. We used to go to BOSI's and stuff, and they used to pick on this one kid relentlessly. Pour milk in his hair, rub shit in his head, just pick on him. And he's a nice kid, And I got sick of watching it, so me and my buddy were like, you know what, come sit with us. So, we made him come sit with us, and then every time they come back to the mess room, we're like, no, leave him alone. He's with us now. And they never bothered him the rest of the year. And, I don't know years later how it affected the kid, but I was like, you know what, I can't sit here and just watch this poor kid get his ass, beaten every day for no reason.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, we're going to do something about it.
Yeah.
And they left him alone after that. And I always thought, if more people did that, we'd probably have a lot less of these instances going on.
I think it's really going to be part of the solution. I mean, certainly we're not going to be able to just put armed guards everywhere, and arming teachers is really stupid.
The stupidest idea I've ever heard. But go on.
Yeah. Well, here's I'm a hunter, okay? So I'm sitting there, I'm going to shoot a deer. It's a doe. Why am I all of a sudden getting all juiced up and I'm getting antsy? Now give that deer a gun and have that deer firing at me. I'm going to tell you, the buck fever that would happen would be incredible. But, yeah, it's a chaotic situation. When I was a kid, we locked the doors so we didn't go drink beer in the parking lot, And we never really thought of that, at least in my generation. I mean, I was right about Columbine. I think that's when I I was 92. So
Columbine was 99.
No, okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I'm saying it was right. It was
year before Columbine.
And that was all Marilyn Manson.
Dan, we're old, Dan.
Yeah, I'm old as heck.
I'm just as old as you are.
But yeah, so it was innocent back then. We weren't really worried about things like that.
Right.
But now all of a sudden, and I'm hearing some people say this is just the way it's got to be, and that's a quitter's mentality.
Yeah.
I'm in politics at a local level, and I hear people saying, "Oh, it's just the way it's got to be," and I'm like, "Well, why?"
Well, why can't we put security in these schools? I mean, we got security at hospitals, we got security at banks and all this other stuff. Why can't we put armed security at schools?
Oh, I don't think that we shouldn't have security, but what we're doing is we're hitting the wrong target. We're good at hitting the bullseye. It's just that's not where. If you want to actually solve the problem, then you have to go back to the root causes. And
the root cause isn't an AR-15. The root cause is either bullying or
mental
health, drugs.
Parenting. And actually, the root of the problem is it starts with the parenting.
It's absolutely there.
It starts with the family. It starts with the nucleus. And then it blossoms from there.
These people able to gain access into these schools. I mean, you should not be able. None of these people should have been able to walk into that school carrying any sort of weapon.
True.
I mean, there should. People are like, well, we're going to be in the military. Say, well, if that needs to happen to protect our kids, then yeah, we should put guards out there.
The problem is then what? I can't go to a country music show because then I'm going to get shot there. Or I can't. You know what I mean? We're terrorizing ourselves as a nation.
True.
And I think we need to step back and look at that, because this isn't happening across the world in the developed world. So we got to really just take a step back and say, what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
But then again, it did happen in Paris. It did happen in Belgium, in London.
But it's not to the degree that here. I mean, here it's
weekly. It seems like it's daily here.
Well, now you get a lot of copycats too now coming out.
And the thing is like you can't even walk the streets of Chicago, and for some of these kids, they're not worried about school. They got metal detectors once they get there. They're fine when they get in. It's just getting to and from home, and even downtown Utica. I mean, there's been tons of violence.
Well, we seen at the St. Patty's Day, we were talking about it yesterday, we seen police officers in full riot gear.
Right, SWAT teams walking down Varick Street in the middle of St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Heavily armed.
Heavily armed. Just kind of to show that they're a presence and that, don't mess around.
I guess if this is a temporary thing, but I don't want to sound like a hippie, but can't we just love each other?
Right.
That's not where I want to be. I don't want to be like Elmer Fudd with my gun out.
Yeah.
When's it going to happen?
Constantly looking over your shoulder.
My dad did 2 tours in Nam, and he said, I'll tell you right now, I couldn't figure this out, but they had the element of surprise. We never knew when we were going to get attacked. It was either a mortar round or maybe they planted some device outside the base and you ran that over on your way out, or you got small arms fire. But he said when the shit hit the fan, I feared for my life from friendly fire. These guys are soldiers, are crapping their pants. Everybody thinks they're Bruce Willis until the bullets start flying, and then they realize, wow, yeah, I'm get down.
Yeah,
you know,
I got a duck.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's talk Mud Run.
Absolutely. Look, our good friend Kip Miller's checking in and said this didn't happen when we were kids, but then again, I got my ass whooped when I misbehaved. I wasn't given a safe space to hang out in. You know, I got my ass whooped too when I got in trouble. Too. You know, and it starts with parenting.
Dude,
it really does start with parenting.
In 4th grade, I gave a kid some money to go down and buy gum at the mini mart. He snuck out of school, and I got sent to the principal's office just for giving him like a quarter. Okay, and my mom comes down. She was a teacher. And I can hear her, and the principal goes, "Your mom's on her way down." I'm like, "Oh, no." And we went in a janitor's closet together. She grabbed me by my ear and yanked me in there and pistol whipped me. And then I got home, and my dad tuned me up again.
Yeah.
But you know what? I knew where there wasn't this imaginary line. It was very, very real. Yesterday, I'm coaching track for my older boy. I get a notice he hasn't turned in assignments or whatever. I'm on him in practice, and I am just, you know, it's the way it's got to be.
Run laps, boy.
Well, I'm like, listen, I wasn't an honor student. I was a B student or whatever, but I gave pretty darn good effort, and that's all I'm looking for. But as a parent, I'm on my kids. If I see something that's out of line, I'm like, hey, I'm calling it.
Yep. I mean, our rule was if somebody's, you know, like somebody was picking on my sister, my father was like, you better go beat their ass.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, that was acceptable.
Well, now your sister could beat your ass.
Oh, yeah.
So.
My sister's, yeah. She can handle her own. But, you know, that's the way it was. If you're going to get bullied, my father's like, if somebody's bullying you, punch them right in the nose. And you know what? If I got my ass whooped in school, you know, so be it. At least I stood up for myself. You know, and not everybody can do that, but it's also that mentality of somebody else is getting picked on, you step in and you know, help them out.
I do see I see a lot of good signs in the schools I've visited, and they're talking about this kind of thing, and I think they've clamped down on a lot. I mean, it used to be brutal. I remember getting my book scuffed about every single day in 7th grade when you made it to the high school, you know, until it finally, you know, you had to lay it down.
Well, there's not one solution. There's multiple solutions that have to be made. It's not just one. Everybody's kind of fixated on one problem. It needs to be. There's multiple problems here, and we need to fix the solutions. We need to have a solution for all these problems, not just the one.
And listen, we're not going to hit 100%.
No.
Okay? We're not. But we're not close right now. We're not even close.
We're so divided. It's never been so divided
And
in
I
our
don't.
lives.
And here's the thing. They say we're divided, but I think if you ask people what they really want, they want a nice. They want a house. They want food. They want security. They just want to be happy. And a lot of this stuff is just BS. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like
it's getting like pushed out of proportion, you know, because people feel like they got to choose a side, and nobody wants to meet in the middle and work things out.
No, it doesn't have to be that way, and I'm going to keep saying it. I actually just met with the county legislator last week. We had this shared services program, and you know, I'm trying to do things to make our area better because I like this area. You know, and I feel like if you don't like it, you know,
There's the door.
There's 4 ways out of town. Pick one.
Toothaloo.
Yeah. But, you know, and that should be the same for this country. We got to think about we the people.
Yeah.
You know, it's not I am going to fix this thing. No I is going to do this.
And it's no them either. We can't sit there and like wait for them to figure it out. We have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And do it.
Part of this program, I actually, you know, I said to these guys, I got involved in politics. You know, I'm just on town level. All we're doing is we're doing the town's business. It's not politics like on the national ridiculous stage right now. Any rate, I said to our local superintendent, we've got to get kids involved. They've got to start to think about this at an earlier age because I'm looking around the room and everyone looks like they're ready for the nursing home that's in politics, and we need some newer, fresher ideas mixed in.
100%.
And people that just simply care.
And people that can think progressively and not stuck in their old ways. You
Yeah.
know, you got to start thinking a little bit outside the box. This is a new time. You got to face it. This is new times we live in. This is a whole new day and age. There's scarier times now than when we were growing up. So you have to start thinking a little outside the box now.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to.
Well,
And
now
that's the old ways aren't working, obviously.
And now with
right?
with the internet and stuff, there's like a whole new realm of bullying. Like used to be like you get bullied in school and you get to go
Right.
home and relax and at least deal with your family life. But now they take it to the internet. Now these kids are going and getting harassed, at home around the web. You know what I mean? Pictures sent about them and things like that, and it's brutal. And you're right. We need to come together as a community and fix this.
And each one, that's the only way I can see this happening, because you're not going to say all of a sudden, well, we got this national policy and this is going to work. I mean, certainly, I think I'm a gun owner. I got 2 gun safes. They're full. Well, I wouldn't mind background checks, and I've had to buy guns. I've bought guns out from out of state, and
you should have to jump through hoops to get a license. I think personally.
Well, you do.
You know,
you do have to jump through hoops.
only in the state. But here's the problem: my brother-in-law, Dave Poyer, so he's a cop in Rochester, and they're following a criminal to Georgia who buys 50 handguns from one guy, and he brings them back, and he's selling them on the street. And so, it's fine to talk about border security, but in New York, we can do all the things to make us feel great, but most of the guns and the gun problems that happen in our inner cities in the state are guns that are coming from the South.
But that's not the AR-15. You know what I mean? Like everybody right now, that's the hot word. Everyone's so worried about this AR-15. I'm like, most gun crimes are probably done with pistols, for one. And, if not, I mean, we just seen one a few years ago in Herkimer where the guy used rifles and, killed a lot of people with rifles. So I think like education is more important. Teach people how to properly, But I also like the idea of taking like an AR-15 and have them go for like another permit, for these assault rifles. If you want an assault rifle,
It shouldn't be so easy. I'm going to tell you,
Should not be so easy.
in North Carolina,
you shouldn't be able to go to Walmart to buy a gun.
My dad's in North Carolina. I mean, you can load yourself up like you're ready to fight the war down there, and it doesn't. It's harder to get a driver's license. It is.
So they need to put a clamp on that a little bit.
Well, but the NRA represents 5 million people. That's their base. Yeah, the whole thing is money. It really is. It's, I don't feel like, personally, I've been affected by any of the laws we've passed in New York. I know some people that have. I got some buddies that were, they want the assault rifles, and I don't know. I almost feel like, if you want to do that, why don't we have a range you can go to and you can shoot, if that's how you get your rocks off. You go, you shoot them. As far as needing that, I mean,
nobody needs an assault rifle.
I got double-aught buck at my house. I mean, there's 25, 22 caliber shells coming at you in one shot. It's pretty darn good. I never want to have to use that, though. So.
Right on. And we're talking about this because this is pretty much the basis on the Barden Mudfest, and Daniel Barden Mudfest, which was created 6 years ago. Let's back up and tell the story on how you got associated with this and what made you decide to host this annual event.
Yeah, so my niece Maggie was in Sandy Hook School the day of the massacre where the 21st graders and the six administrators were killed. And she was about 4 or 5 rooms down from where it happened, and her best friend Daniel Barden was one of those 20 kids. Next door neighbor, well-worn path between their houses, and they played together. They rode the bus together. And I got the call from my wife that day. I remember I was working down in Schoharie County, or Scary County, as some people like to call it. And I just couldn't believe it, when she said Maggie's school's had a shooting. And in my mind, I'm just downplaying this thing, like, this can't be that big of a deal or whatever. But by the time I got home, we knew it was very serious. She was okay, but Daniel was one of the kids that was missing at the time. I just remember going out to feed my cows and getting the call from my wife, and I was like just devastated. This kid was just really special. I'd met him only a handful of times, but he just really stood out, and he just had that mop of hair, and he was always smiling. As kids should be at 6, right? So we went down. We made the trip down the next day. And my dad, I remember walking down with my dad and Melissa and just feeling like this is it was the hardest walk I've ever had to make. It was all downhill, and it felt just unbelievable to walk in that house. And what do you say to these people?
Right.
So we did that, and then we're at the funeral, and everybody's just feeling abject despair. And the last speaker got up, and she said, if you can do something to make this world a better place, then do something. And if you've got something to say to change this discussion, or to get it started, say something. And I had an epiphany in that moment. I literally walked out of the church and I turned to my wife. I said, I'm putting a mud run on for these folks. And I called Jack Bushman, and he said, sure, man, let's do it. And then, it rolled from there. That first year was like, I felt like I was in this cloud the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But I just kept focusing on the event, and it was amazing how everybody pulled together. I mean, we did that first year. Remember, we had all the chimney logs.
Yeah.
We had 26, one to represent each victim, and we had 6 out on the course.
It looked like MKJ was on fire.
Well, the song "Burn, Motherfucker, Burn." That was rolling through my head when those things were rolling. I was like, because they looked like, and I don't know if you're familiar with what a bong looks like.
No, I've never seen one.
Okay,
Can you describe?
So like a big bass, and then a kind of a tube that comes up, then.
For tobacco use only.
Absolutely. So so they were all around the grounds there, right? So when we and we filled them full of super dry wood and then sawdust from a furniture factory, and then we mixed diesel fuel and transmission oil together and poured that down in until they couldn't take anymore. So when they got lit. And
they got lit.
Oh yeah, I mean it was people were seeing it from Clinton. I mean
That's
it was like
awesome.
10 miles away. But yeah, that first year was just like this. Wow, I just was overcome by emotion. Just couldn't believe, that we pulled it off in such a short time because it was 30 below. I remember the first days I was up there. It was freaking hardcore winter, and we busted our tails making the trail. We had caught, and you've been up on the course. I mean, it's not flat.
No.
So
Definitely not flat.
No, not flat at all. So yeah, it came together. It was amazing. But we got all the right people in place. I mean, bringing you in and Jody Shore or Miller rather coming in that first year and helping us out, and somebody threw a website together. It was just.
How did you come up with like some of the designs for the obstacles?
That's his sick, sadistic mind.
From that bong thing?
Yeah. So it was basically, I had done 2 Tough Mudders, so I kind of thought about their obstacles and then looked at the terrain on the farm and just as I kept hiking it and cutting it, just kept saying, all right, well, I'm going to do something here. All right, it was a lot of planning that went into just laying the course out. I was over there in cross-country skis first, skiing it, and I had a GPS watch, and then I went home and I put that on the computer, and then I got the Google Earth image and started playing around. And then, because it's got to be a 5K course, it's got to start somewhere near the barn. It's got to end up back there. So trying to figure out where's this best going to go, and then how do we get EMS in there if someone does get screwed up. So we had to cut an EMS trail up into, like, Gravity Cavity. Those guys were shitting their pants the first year. I thought the
EMS guys?
Yeah, they had this trailer thing for extricating people. It's looks like a coffin essentially that they tow.
Mind you, too, the first year was like this weekend, like right. It was like the last
No,
weekend
we were
of
April
March.
13th.
The first one was.
Yep,
Okay,
April 13th.
but then you moved it back to like March at one
Yeah,
time.
we've danced around. We keep moving because schools keep changing their spring vacation.
Oh, so you do it around spring break?
We're trying to avoid it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So this year we had to bounce up early because spring break's 21st through the 28th.
Everyone goes on vacation on spring break.
Yeah, I don't want to lose the kid.
Right.
Certainly, it hit us. We hit it one year and it dropped. We saw a significant drop. So we try to plan it around it. I talked to some people last night that are super bummed. They had planned a trip already, and they're going to miss the 6th one. It'll be their first miss.
Oh.
Yeah. So, people are actually planning their vacations around this, if you will, their time.
How awesome is that, though?
It's great.
You've created a destination.
I want this to be that Woodstock style event that people are like, I absolutely have to go to this. I want it to be a counterculture kind of thing, like a Burning Man.
Yeah.
We got to go to it. We got to make the pilgrimage. Because, it's really a party that just so happens to have a mud run.
Right.
That's
a good way to look at it.
You get the mud run out of the way, then it's the party.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of the things we've been talking about is, like, even if you're not going to run it, you got to go for the party. I mean, it's a great party.
I've been to other races, and it's like, and I'm not going to, even the Boilermaker, they put on a great post-race party. Most races can't even come close to that. I mean, they're ripping 300 kegs out there. We're going to go through over 20 this year, which is pretty solid.
Absolutely. That's why you're the Boilermaker's dirty little brother.
Exactly. And you can take that two ways.
It is a great event, and in the whole basis, it sucks that something tragic had to happen to have this incredible event, to be born from that.
It's usually the case, though.
It's almost. I'd say it is almost always the case, right? Yeah, I feel like I had an awakening. Like the first 40 years, it was all about me, And as I tell these kids, these 8th graders that go on our adventure trip, I'm like, this is the best feeling I get every year is the day of the mud run, just when everybody shows up and they just have a great time and the Bardens are there. Because that was goal 1 the first year. It wasn't about making any money. I just wanted them to come and say, you know what, your boy was special and we love you and I want to see you get back on your feet. I remember they didn't want to get out of their car. They were so overcome by emotion. And I was sent my buddy running down to their car because I didn't want to start the event until they got there. And they came up and they're like, I said, you're going to get on the course. These people are going to help you. They're not athletic at all. They had never run. And they went out and they absolutely loved it. And Mark called me in November of that year and he said, Dan, of all the things that happened to us last year, good things, the mud run was the best thing. It just, can we do it again? And I'm like, Mark, don't threaten me with a good time, man. It's already happening. I'm like, he's like, can we make it bigger? I'm like, that's the goal. So, it started from that, but I feel like sometimes it's what has to happen. We've got to get a catalyst to change.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And more people need to stand up. And honestly, these solutions I think a lot of them are free. Just being good to each other.
Right.
Stop being a dick. That's our campaign.
Stop being a dick and be a better parent.
Be a parent.
Be a better person. Yeah, be a better person altogether.
I think that especially with the smartphones that are out there now, kids they're left to their devices, literally.
They are.
And, I've got my son, he will play video games nonstop if I don't cut the cord on that and tell him, let's do something else.
And what kills me is the parents can't make, their rent payment or they can't pay for a car. They're getting a car repoed, but their kid's got a pair of $300, Air Jordans. You know what I mean? And, my niece was getting picked on because she didn't have Jordans. And I'm like, seriously? Like, who the hell is going to buy their kid $300 pair of sneakers? Stop that, people. I mean, it's just retarded.
They're going to grow out of them.
Yeah, and they're going to get them muddy and nasty and all that stuff. And all they do, it's just another form of, not paying attention. You're not doing what needs to be done at home. Like, you're defaulting on your home, but your kid's got $300 pair of sneakers and he's got an iPad and whatever.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Yeah, we need to shift our values.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying we all got to go to church or whatever, but I mean, it's definitely, it's just the one thing, do unto others as you'd have done unto you. I've always said that if you can just do that, the rest will sort itself out.
Yeah. And people need to mind their own damn business.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, too. Just,
seriously.
I don't care what you believe in, what your religion is, what your sexual orientation is. You do you. You know what I mean? If everyone just minded their own damn business, I think this world would be such a better place.
Yeah.
100%. So we're hanging with Dan Williams from the Barden Mudfest. It's happening April 14th, MKJ Farm. It's a Saturday. It happens on a Saturday every year. We're up in Deansboro. Come on out. And like we mentioned earlier, too, even if you don't want to participate in the mud run, come up. You pay a couple bucks to park, and you're going to see some great music. There's going to be food trucks there. We got some of the best food trucks going on around there. Some of the best musicians playing.
Ray Brothers.
Ray Brothers going to be there. Celtic Harp still there?
Nope. We don't have. They had a rough go of it last year. They really need the kitchen. for what their product is.
I
And
gotcha.
I'd love to have them back. I mean,
yeah.
I felt like it was a good fit, but yeah.
But you do have other food trucks there.
Oh yeah, we got food trucks and a bunch of vendors, tons of food, Saranac root beer and beer.
1 or 2 bands, I think.
7?
We got a lot of great music this year.
7, yeah. I mean, out on the course, and we've got people movers, so we can move you up and around the course, and it's a 40-mile view from the top at the Monkey Bars, and we got a stage up there. Gary Robertson Jr. will be
Is
up
it
there.
40 miles up there?
40-mile view.
Wow. It's beautiful, though. It is a great
You're
scenic
looking.
view,
You're
man.
looking up towards Speculator.
Yeah, I got left up there twice last year.
There's so many side by sides, so you can always catch a ride.
Yeah, he stole it. He's like, oh, he dropped me and Tori off, and he's like, I gotta go, and he just takes off. And we're like, what the hell?
Come on, I got to do the music here, man.
So we walk back.
My favorite thing now that this thing is kind of, I got to tell you, hopefully the rest of the crew isn't listening, but you know, day of, once I get the 5-miler started and the 5Kers start flowing on the course, I've got a good starter guy, Matt St. Peter. He's our local teacher, and he does a great job.
He does.
So then I just jump on a 4-wheeler and just run around doing donuts, spraying people, and just seeing what's going on, checking stuff out. And
Everybody's pulling you in every direction.
yeah, but you know, at that point, it's like, you know what? The boulder's been pushed to the top of the mountain, and it's rolling down the other side, and it's going to be what it is.
What's done is done. Yep.
You know, last year I remember looking up, and I'm like, oh my God, the 5-mile didn't get taped. So people get lost when they're running the 5-mile because they're in absolute agony, you know, especially at that point. So if I don't keep them like locked onto the course, I tape it continuously. Otherwise, it's like, and it's a shit show. When the first person goes the wrong way, everybody's following.
Everybody gets confused.
Oh yeah, that happened year 1. I had a guy going the wrong way, and I'm like trying to figure this out. And a guy had talked me into, oh, don't put all the tape up. I'm like, nah, so all that has to be done beforehand, and so we were up there till like 11 o'clock at night, Friday night, and then back there at 3 in the morning. Last year we flipped. Hopefully the guy isn't listening, but we flipped a water truck the night before, so that had to get that thing back up right and get a new tire on it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but then we're hauling water. We're hauling water up on the course because it sits up. The top of the course is like solid limestone, so our obstacles up top. We typically haul water up that morning and then get them piping full, and then we're good.
I think it's safe to say that you're probably like the most hated person during the run. And then after the run, they like you more.
We're bringing more heated water, too, for the finish line. So you'll get through it. I know everybody's going to be a little bit cold, but run harder. You'll warm up and then come back, get yourself a hot shower.
Yeah.
Which I'm telling
Hot showers you got this year?
Yeah, we've had.
That's right.
We've had them, but I said we've got to expand it this year. We're actually, depending on the weather, we're gonna extend a tent out into the party area, if you will, merge it with the tent for the bands, which I think will be good. Just if there's any wind at all, it kind of sucks, you know.
Have you been on the course yet this year?
No.
No, because it's too snowy, right? It's too much
Yeah,
snow
I
up
was,
there?
you know, in February, I was going to put Paul Bunyan together, the log cabin. We've been taking it down every year, which that's like a day putting that back together. Usually like
It's huge.
a couple 30 packs and yeah.
I like
So we just said hot shower.
Yeah.
He's running it this year. We're gonna try putting a GoPro on him.
Oh,
Yeah, we want him to run with a GoPro.
nice.
So I think that'd be kind of cool. Bird's eye view or a POV view of the actual race. You know, go
Yeah.
through the tunnels and stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely. He's going to just keep cleaning it off.
Yeah.
We found a GoPro in one of the dumpsters at Paul Bunyan last year.
Wow.
After we were cleaning
Does it
up.
work now, or
I
did you
think
keep
so.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that somebody lost their GoPro. Maybe I'm
think
not giving Soberth mine then.
I wonder, I think we got it back to him, though.
Did you?
Yeah, a lot of sneakers, a lot of shit in the dumpsters. Which I got to say, Wheelock is giving us the dumpsters again this year. Wheelock Disposal over in West Winfield, super generous, great people. Mike's a great guy. I call him up, Mike, can we do the dumpsters? He's like, yeah, whatever we did last year. If you need more, let me know. And they pick up all our trash afterwards, which, you know, is pretty sizable. They bring all the recycling bins, and you know they're very, very generous.
Right on.
So.
Kelly, is checking in. She's saying great discussion today. Z was listening with a bunch of middle schoolers. So very cool. If I could get everybody that's watching this video right now just to share this, it's pretty important to all of us. If you could just share this video and we spread the message on, the violence that's going on today, but not only that, but the Barden Mudfest. You guys would be doing us a huge favor. Just click that share button, and share, please.
One thing I think is really cool is, like, aside from the Mudfest, which is a great thing in its own, is the fact that you take these kids up to the Adirondacks and take them to, like you said, like without their cell phones in a whole other world. I grew up in the Adirondacks, so I kind of feel like when I'm up there, I'm like, man, there's kids up here that never got to see this, never got to experience it. And I feel like every child should have that opportunity.
Oh, I think more of this would be part of the solution, too, because there's studies that show that we lose empathy when we're not connected with nature. And so what they're doing in Japan, they've actually been building these wild areas, if you will, these parks, and they make it a point to get people out of cities and into these areas. They've done studies where people just smell pine needles, and they watch all their vital signs get better. Their blood pressure goes down. Their mood gets better. And I think if we can get kids out a lot more often and disconnected, and this program is actually 30 years old. It's essentially the Odyssey program at the Clark Foundation in Cooperstown. Jane Clark is a billionaire, very, very good billionaire. She has given away so much money and done such good things for Otsego County. And I thought after year 2, I want to do something to help change this. I don't want to just give money to some charities and here we go. I want to get deeper into this.
And it's funny what you say about the air too, because the town of Saranac Lake was basically founded because the air tended to be a little better for people with tuberculosis.
Yeah.
So a lot of people from New York City who had TB would go up there and they would actually have no signs of tuberculosis after living up there in Saranac Lake. So I think that's kind of a cool thing, but like, when you get people out like on the lakes and the trails and see things in the mountains, it just it's a whole different like you said, like you feel relaxed, you feel like a little more at peace.
Oh, and this is a hard thing. This trip is hard. They're for most of them. I mean, I would say almost all of them. It's the first time they've been away. They're surrounded by strangers, right? Yep. It's 12 days. They're gone from their family, and many of them haven't canoed at all. So now they have to learn to canoe. They have to learn to cook. They have jobs every day. And when they start the trip, the counselors, it's either kids from Colgate or Hamilton College that administer the trip. They're the 2 counselors for 8 kids. But they teach the kids what to do. 2 kids are navigating for the day. 2 kids are in charge of cooking. 2 kids are in charge of the environmental stuff, which is just keeping the site clean, making sure they leave no trace, that they've got their sunscreen on and their bug spray. Everybody's got a job. 2 kids are photographers. And so as they go along, they learn these jobs, and the counselors pull away. And then halfway through the trip, they spend a solo day where they build their own shelter, and they're off by themselves for 24 hours with nobody. And then they write about their experience. And then they get the letter back, depending when they want it, 3 months, 6 months, a year. They get this letter back to them. Clark holds it and sends it back. Once they leave, after that day they spend by themselves, solo day, they're basically running the show at that point. They're navigating. They're saying, we're going to go to here. We're going to do this. And the counselors pull back. And, if you think about 8th graders, they're being told what to do all the time. And as I'm selling the strip to them, I'm like, guys, you're going to, I know you don't like being told what to do. I mean, I've been married for 20 years. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But
we love you, Melissa.
Yes. But yeah, it's a time for them to come out of their shell to become leaders. And that's what we need.
And working together, working
Absolutely.
together with
As a
people
team.
they've never met before.
Right.
You know what I mean? And somebody that could be completely different from them, doing something that they've never done before. And like you said, and being able to work together and take charge.
And they're staying in contact. I've got one of the first kids that went on our trip from Waterville. Isaiah's on the track team with me, and we're doing an interview Friday for the OD. And I was talking to him about the other day, and he's like, yeah, I'm still communicating with kids from Connecticut and their counselor from that time. Actually, their counselor ended up getting cancer after the trip, and they all came together and got a gift. And that was part of this deal. We got 8 kids from Connecticut. They're mixed in with the kids up here. And I wanted to do that purposely so that we could say, you know what, guys, we're not all that different here. I want to get these two. It happened in Connecticut. It could have easily have happened here.
Absolutely.
And we need to come together to figure this out. It's just the bottom line. Now on the trip too, I will tell you, 1993, I read Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. I don't know if you're great book.
He did the.
He was beatnik generation of the 50s.
The road or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. So I read that book and I was like, all right, I'm riding my bike to Colorado. I'm just going to take off. And I ended up meeting a guy, and we ended up, he was going to California, and I was going to veer off to Colorado, and we hit it off so well. Day 2, we figured, screw it, we're going into Canada. Next thing you know, we're riding all the way to Vancouver. And it was like, that trip was so many things rolled into one. It was so stinking hard. Like on the prairies, the wind was 40 mile an hour in your face all day long, and you know, the seat felt like a broom handle wrapped in barbed wire. It was just, I would get in a fight with my seat and like throw my bike down and rip the gel pad off my seat and start slamming it on the ground, and then I'd ride without the gel seat. I mean, my butt was tortured on the prairies. It was incredible. You're riding like 6 miles an hour. So, but at any rate, it was the most beautiful thing. I mean, I got to see all these awesome places. Rode through the Rockies, the Cascades. We rode all the way to San Francisco. So we were down the coast, Highway 1. That trip made me who I am today. And I tell these kids, I'm like, this is a smaller version of that trip, but this will change you forever. Mm-hmm. It'll make all the other things like oh, man, I got a test today. Yeah, but is it as hard as that time you carried the canoe 3 miles on the portage? Or whatever, you put up with that kid that you didn't necessarily like in the beginning. You know, it kind of puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
Life isn't easy, right?
And nature's like God's playground. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need amusement parks. You don't need, all this stuff. Like, you're out there in nature. Like, you can go swimming, you can go hiking, you can kayaking, fishing, whatever. It helps you use your imagination too, how to keep yourself occupied and how to survive.
Oh, for me, I feel like, I get depressed just thinking about the world and the way it is, and then I go skiing or I go mountain biking or I go running, and I feel like as I come back, those problems are out there, or just hiking. I feel like more of that would be the kind of medicine we need.
I call it unplugging. I got to unplug for a weekend, and just kind of reset your brain and just like come back. You can take off for like two or 3 days in the woods. You come back out and you feel just so much more refreshed. Even though you probably worked the entire time you were there. Yep. Like camping's always work. But it's a different kind of work. It's a less stressful, but it's I don't know, more of a cleansing type of feeling when you're done.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, all that other stuff, if you just stick around and you're dealing with the same crap over and over and over again, it just bogs you down. You get that like, I can't beat it type feeling. Like, like you're defeated. Whereas like you can step out for a little while, let yourself,
recharge.
Recharge, yes, exactly.
And we have to find these places right around here. I'm telling kids, we don't even need to necessarily, go to the Adirondacks. It's hard, right? It's a journey up there, but we got some awesome little patches of woods around here. Mm-hmm. I've got 5,000 acres of state land outside of Waterville that I've gotten to know. I still don't know it all, but I mean, I've been all over, bombing around on skis and a bike. And
you go up by New Hartford Town Park, there's trails all through there. I go through there all the time. Yeah. And it's a cool little way, just like you said, just step out of, reality for a minute, go through the woods. And I mean, you're only, 2-3 miles out of the woods, but you still feel like it changes your whole, range. You know what I mean? You're completely something different.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is, too, when you bring these kids on an excursion, they pick a charity, right, at the end?
Yeah, so we vetted out about 40 good local charities, because we're not going to give to Wounded Warrior Project where they're flying first class and, staying in. But we found some good veteran programs where the money's really going to go to good places. Mm-hmm. And then if the kids are like, you know what, they tip us off to a charity that speaks to them that we didn't know about. So sure, yeah, we'll do that. And so last year it was almost $4,000 went to each one of the kids' charities.
Wow.
It's like $3,900. Next year I'm gonna get on this, and I'm gonna get one of these major manufacturers to give me a couple kayaks or a couple bikes, and I'm gonna give a kayak or a bike away to whichever kid raises the most money for their charity.
Oh, that's cool.
To get them to buy into it. And at VVS, a woman, my contact person there was like, you know what, we're gonna do a fundraiser for you guys. I'm like, that's great. I mean, we'll take it. Yeah.
Right on. Good. More help the merrier, right?
Yeah, and we're still looking for we'll still take sponsors. So if there's people out there like, you know what, I want to kick in some money to this, 100% of this money is going to charity.
Right.
I mean,
and let's make that very clear too. None of this money goes in your pocket. It's like
Not a
it all
dime.
gets allocated into different. Well, for one, the camping trip that you put these kids on, and to all these other, charities that they pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going around. My brother-in-law, he is in charge of talking to the administrators in Connecticut to get those kids lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm driving around to all the schools here and printing off the stuff and spending a lot of time on that. And I like that. That's what we're bringing to the table. And then I'll bring my guys over and all our equipment to put this thing together, because we've got, it's a 5-mile course. We got to put it all together. And fortunately, it's gotten a little easier, because the warp wall, we did the warp wall last year. I don't know if I drank too much, and all of a sudden I had this idea that we're going to build a freaking warp wall the week before the mud run, but we did it.
How tall was this wall?
14 feet.
14 feet. You had to climb over this 14-foot wall.
Dude, it was so funny watching people. It's like salmon going up the river, when they go up and then they just get crapped out the back.
Yeah.
So Clark Foundation just gave me like a $5,000 cargo net. So last year we had a little problem with the warp wall because people just wanted to get up it. And it was, if you saw some of the videos, the epic struggles people went through.
I seen one guy hanging upside down, pushing somebody up with his feet.
Yes.
Pushing somebody up with his feet to get up over that wall. I'm like, this dude is sick.
That's a buddy of mine. He's a chiropractor. He probably needed one after that. Yeah.
Well, towards the end of the day, though, that wall got so caked up with mud that people couldn't make it.
And
up
wasn't
there
it
anymore.
that like towards the end?
It was right at the end.
So
It's
you
boom.
do all this other shit and you get this wall and you're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Dan Williams, I tell you.
I did it in the morning before. I was filling my water truck, and we had the trash pump right there pumping, so I ran over in my work boots and got it, but I still had to use the rope to get up. It's tough. So we're gonna modify that a little bit. We're gonna make it like hard, medium, and then we'll have the cargo net next to it. So if you can't do the wall in 2 tries, you go onto this cargo net. We're going to build a structure, and that'll be right there. And then obviously we got snow. So you got bananas. You got to make banana bread, right? We're going to pile some snow up and make a snow castle or something.
You
I
have
don't
to
know.
climb up them, or?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we make tunnels or what we're going to do, but I'm just going to stack a bunch of snow right now, and then we'll see what we do with it.
You got a spot exactly where you're putting all this snow?
I've got a spot. I've got 2 spots in mind, and I'm thinking the kids should have a pile of snow too.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Maybe they got to climb up it and slide down it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Kind of make it a little fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we're putting in a slip and slide between Paul Bunyan and the warp wall.
Okay.
I don't know how.
Downhill,
big time downhill.
So you're slip and sliding downhill.
This is gonna be great.
How big of a slip and slide is this thing?
I don't know yet. I don't.
Are you just getting like
It's just
plastic and
people.
just
I guess
covering it?
I kept hearing people saying you got to have a slip and slide, and then I'm trying to figure where am I going to have this slip and slide so that it's going to make sense. And I feel like the pond is right there, so I can siphon water out of it, some dish soap on it. It's just we got to make it safe, so we're gonna have to test it first, and if we end up,
I would put padding underneath it.
Yeah.
We do a slip and slide flip cup thing every year at a buddy's house, and the first year we didn't have any padding underneath, and it was rough on your gut, man. It hurt, and you didn't get a lot of slide because the ground kind of held little resistance. So we put padding under it, like that carpet padding or whatever.
Really?
And you slide a lot better, and it's less pressure on your stomach.
Huh.
So when people go down, you're not smacking your stomach because it felt like you did 9,000 sit-ups after you're done. So
it's gonna feel like 10,000.
Yeah, I would definitely go with some sort of.
Yeah.
Plus, if it rips or tears, then you still got a padding underneath.
Well, I gotta say this is a steep hill too.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, it's a steep. It's not. You know, it's a gradual decline.
We did one. My sister and I did a mud run out in the Finger Lakes, and they had one. And I was actually, I don't get scared a lot, but I was like, holy shit, I'm upside down and backwards going head first into the landing zone. And, you know, they had a huge pool of water that you landed in, so it stopped you. We just got to make it safe.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, the whole thing is I don't want people getting hurt.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you know, things are going to happen, right?
You're going to get scrapes and bruises. It's going to happen.
Absolutely.
You know, those you're going to have to suck up.
You know, somebody's going to tear a rotator cuff. You know, as I tell them, you know, if your shoulder's bothering you, don't do the monkey bars. If you feel like getting your shoulder fixed, do the monkey bars. I don't know. You got to figure this out. But we're 100% charity, so don't sue us because that's no fun.
Right.
You know it going in. You sign a waiver. I just went skiing in Jay Peak, and I'm an idiot. Okay, I like to ski in the woods. I like to ski super fast.
You like to ski in the dark.
Yeah, stupid shit. And I'm bombing through the woods, and I come upon this huge area that had gotten washed out. I launch and land like really badly. But what am I? I'm the one that signed up for it.
Right.
You know, I'm following somebody's tracks. They made the first mistake. I'm following them. There's no sign there that says danger. There's a giant hole you're about to ski into, but you know, I figured it out.
Are there any new obstacles that we can expect other than maybe the slip and slide and a whole bunch of snow?
So the cargo knot,
Okay.
for sure. There's talk of a teeter-totter.
A teeter-totter.
Yeah.
How's that gonna work?
Well, so it's a balance totter, really. So you go, you walk up the balance beam, and then it teeters on you at the halfway point.
Gotcha.
So Mohawk Valley Builders Exchange, those guys want to build something, and I got to reach out to them and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. So that'll be, but we're almost at the point where we've got 20, this will put us at like 23 obstacles for the 5K.
23 obstacles in the 5K. Wow. That's grueling. It is.
And
That's a lot for a 5K. So wait, 5K is like, what, 3 miles?
3 miles.
3 miles, right.
So they're stacked up pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't really get much more in there and still have it be a run. I mean, there's
It's
some
like
breaks.
7 obstacles per mile.
Right. And then there's 33 on the 5 mile and just the terrain.
And how many in the kids' course?
12.
12.
Which is a half mile.
Yeah.
So that's enough. And
a lot of obstacles.
Yeah, we actually have the Brothertown Optimists. They're going to run the kids' course for us this year. They're a great organization out of Waterville. They do a ton of good things for the youth in our community. And they reached out to me and said, "Okay, can we volunteer and take care of the kids' course?" I'm like, yes. The other thing I'm doing, do you know any girls that we could dress up like tilted kilt girls for? I feel like we could get more out of parking if we had some tilted kilt girls out there. Seriously, I mean, who wants to give money to a fireman? But if you got a tilted kilt girl with the boot out, you know, I feel like, because 100% of the parking goes to the fire department and EMS.
Okay.
And so, you know, if we park, whatever, 1,000 cars, it's five grand. But if I can get everybody, you know, if you feel like it, you know, there's people come to the race. The first year I had a guy give me a check for $25,000. Wow. He came and ran the race.
That's beautiful.
It was unbelievable.
Does he keep coming back?
I haven't. I got to reach out to that guy. I'd like that check again. We need that check. But I think he wrote the Hunger Games.
Really?
And he heard about it the night before, and he woke up at midnight and drove up to Deansboro.
Wow.
And I remember I was walking around the grounds just trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to be doing, you know, year one. And our friend Mary came running out of the registration tent. She's like, Daniel. And I'm like, oh, my God, somebody died. Something happened. And she's like, you got to see this. And I'm like, what? She's like, this guy, Cap Pryor, just gave me a check for $25,000. He wants to run the mud run. He's not registered. I go, he can run it 10 times. Give him an arms like the beer tickets, too.
They come back every year, come back 5 times a year.
Yeah, it just blew my mind, you know, to get that kind of money. But, you know,
That's
it's out
amazing.
there.
Absolutely.
We just got to go ask for it. We got to go get it. And I want to try to connect to these people. I realize if I want to be a part of the discussion, I want to be part of the solution. We've got to talk to the powers that be, you know, the ones that are running the show. I had a good contact with with Andrew Cuomo's sister, Maria Cuomo. She came year 3 in shot for that documentary. I sent you her email.
Yep, that's right.
And she's been, she's busy, and that's kind of, she's fallen off, or we've fallen off her radar, I guess. But, they made a documentary about the St. Hook tragedy, and the mud run was part of it. And it was cool. They were in Sundance. And
That's pretty cool.
yeah, we got to fly out there. Met Robert Redford. That was pretty wild.
Do you have any connections at Sundance that we can
we
tap into?
That's what we already talked about.
We talked about that, yeah.
We all talked about this. We're in the process of producing a documentary ourselves on plant medicine. In fact, we're flying our crew to Africa in May to do a documentary on the iboga plant, and it's the miracle plant. It really is. 85% cure rate for PTSDs, anxiety, addiction, bipolar. We've been talking about it a lot around disruption, and it's something we're really, really focusing on right now because we have this GoFundMe page, and it's cured a few of our friends. It's near and dear to our heart. Now,
How do they get
it's
it?
actually really well. Here's the thing: it's illegal in good old U.S. of A., but it's legal everywhere else. I mean, in Mexico they have iboga rehabilitation centers, and in Canada they have the same thing, rehabilitation centers for iboga, and the ibogaine. It's a part of the alkaloid that is produced out of the iboga plant, and like I said, it cures addiction and PTSDs, and we had a friend of ours who was really bad on heroin, and it's a one-time deal, dude. You take this one time, and you are cured 6 hours later, 10 hours later. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's some intense stuff. And there's documentaries on Netflix and YouTube that you can watch on the iboga plant, and all the literature's out there. But we are sending a crew out there, and we're also going, not only are we going to Africa, but we're also going to Canada and Mexico to do more filming and get this all documented, because we want to educate and we want to get this out there. And that's why I actually hit you up for that Sundance contact, was we want to get it out there.
And I always tell people, like, listen to the EC radio when Tucker came on and told his story, and how he came about it, and it's completely different than how Emily came about it, and they each one took a different path without even knowing each other, and had the same results with the same medicine.
Yeah, crazy.
And here we
have the wonder drug. And then here we are. No, we got rehab facilities. So if you're on heroin, let's mask you with Suboxone or methadone or something. They take one drug and mask you for another, because the government wants us to be sick.
They do.
Because they make more money off us being sick than being healthy.
Why
would you want your citizens to be healthy?
No, we have a sick care system. I mean, it's really literally designed and to make people sick and then take care of them. And it's interesting because now you have these major medical companies that are buying food companies.
Right.
Why are they doing that? They're doing it because they're hedging their bet.
Right, exactly.
They're making sure that the business will stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I have no problem helping people. And if we're going to have welfare, I think I would like to see people have healthy food.
Me too.
What would be wrong with that?
Right, and this is your forte right here too, because you do have the farm.
Yep.
Everything you do is organic, grass-fed cow, and
grass-fed beef, chicken, pork,
beef,
turkeys.
chicken, and pork. But here you got companies like Monsanto, who knows what they're putting in our food.
Yeah.
And selling it at Walmart or wherever else. You don't know what the hell they're putting in your food or your water. I don't want to say his name, but how about Trump rolling back on the Clean Water Act and the EPA and all? They want to dissolve the EPA. Like, come on.
No, we've already cleaned the lakes up once, and we've already had to go through this. To go through it again, there's the old saying, don't shit where you eat. I mean, that's the simplest rule. Animals wouldn't do this. And yet these guys are doing it, and they're saying that we're going to be profitable and the economy is going to be great. And I'm like, stop lying to us. You can't. Why are we going to ruin what we have? Water and air. I mean, without those two things, the rest of it, I don't give a shit. You're not gonna get that on your cell phone.
we're raping our environment for the almighty dollar. You know?
And it's not really gonna benefit the majority of the people. We're being sold a sham. So it's unfortunate. Yeah, I think the word's got to get out there.
Yeah.
I mean, this OxyContin thing
it's horrible.
It's pissed me off so bad. I mean, if you ever get a chance to listen to the history of opium, it's a 2-part series on this podcast called The Dollop. And, they start right from its invention right up through. But they literally, the trial studies for OxyContin were on 8 women in Puerto Rico that were pregnant. That was their study. And it didn't work. They said they had pain within 8 hours. So what happened was they said, well, take the pill. In 12 hours, you take the other pill. It's nice. 2 pills a day. That's it. That's all you need. But the problem with heroin is you develop, resistance to it, and then you need more, right? So all it was heroin and a pill.
That's all it was, synthetic heroin.
And it didn't last the 12 hours. So they became addicted almost immediately because they had cravings. Oh, shit, I need a pill. So then they come out with a higher dose pill.
Yep.
Then they come out with a crushable pill so you can snort it. That's great. And then we give this out. Like, I would be so pissed off if my kid had gotten hurt back in the day and then doctors prescribed that, as they did. And they made heroin addicts all over.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when Tucker came on Back Talk, he brought in a guy, excuse me, that he was given like Oxy when he was 11. He got hurt in Pop Warner football, and they're breaking him off pieces of Oxy, and he got hooked. And then by 15, he was on heroin. And he was selling heroin, buying heroin. He said he was running around with like 40-year-old dude, slinging heroin.
Because believe it or not, it's cheaper to buy heroin,
right,
than it is to buy OxyContin.
Yeah.
And you don't need a prescription. You know what I mean? Like you're buying it off.
And then they made fentanyl, which is even worse. And this numbnut we got running the show here, he thinks he's going to put a wall up. Well, you can get a key of fentanyl shipped in from China through the mail that'll kill ungodly amount of people.
Right.
You're not going to stop. You're not going to stop this. And we've already tried the war on drugs thing.
I know.
How'd that work out?
That didn't work out. By the way, Purdue Pharma, their CEO made $100 million last year. He's been averaging about $100 million salary a year, paying 15% income tax because that's what they do. And if I wanted to solve this problem, I would be shutting their doors. I would be confiscating every single dollar they got. That guy should be riding on a garbage truck.
Absolutely.
He should be living in some shithole, out in the sticks.
What about that other dude that took the AIDS pill and they bumped it up 700 times what the previous cost was, and to the point where nobody can afford it?
What about the EpiPens?
Oh, it's great.
Think about the EpiPens too. And
I'm allergic to bees, and I'm supposed to carry one, but I'm like, I'll be goddamn if I'm going to pay $600 for an EpiPen. That goes bad, by the way, and you need to replace it every year and a half. I mean, it's ridiculous. We're being screwed over. I actually had this idea the other day. If you think about it, in New York State, we've got this population dwindling down. We've been fighting that for a long time. But it's a beautiful state. There's so much opportunity, I think, here.
I agree.
The taxes are an issue. So I just met with the county. We're talking about how do we streamline things? How do we share services? How do we make government more efficient? And I said to these guys, I think we can do that in our town, and this would go deeper than we need to right now. But on healthcare, I said, I tell you right now, the federal government will never get on board with this. They will never figure it out. They are too screwed up. But if New York State wanted to be out front on this, we already have Medicaid. We've got Healthy New York. We've got all your state employees that have health care. And then we've got all us who are out here. I've got a $10,000 deductible. I pay $14,000 a year so I can pay the first $10,000. That's awesome. Yeah. And then I've got some of my guys that are one of my main guys been with me a long time. He's got a $4,000 deductible. I mean, they're not doing great, and his wife gets leukemia. So now they had to go to Rochester. It's cost him a bunch of money. Now he's going to treatment. She's going to treatment in Cooperstown. It's killing them. They're going to accrue all this debt. And I feel like if New York State said, listen, we're going to blow this system up. We're going to have a single-payer system. We're going to go out. There's 22 million people in this state, and we're going to shop this plan hard, okay? Because we're paying way too much. We're paying double of what anybody else in the developed world is for the sick care. But at the same time, you develop a campaign to get healthy. You nudge people in that direction. There's nothing wrong with a healthier state, right? It's not, last I checked, nobody was excited about going to the hospital.
Right.
So let's figure out how to get less people in the hospital, and there's tons of things we could do, preventative care. We throw money away on all these programs and that don't work. Medicaid is supposedly abused a lot, and there's tons of people abusing disability. Straighten all that out, and then let's take care of the working poor.
Right.
Those are the people that are on the edge. I don't mind paying. I mean, I'm blessed enough to have a good enough business that we can survive. But I really, really want to advocate that if we did this, if we went to a single payer system for the state, you would attract businesses in. You know, coming in, hey, I'm going to land my business here, and I got 50 employees. Healthcare's covered, and do it efficiently. It absolutely could be done. But this hodgepodge we have now is stupid.
It's crazy. I mean,
They got to make money off us.
just look at this flu epidemic, right? Every year we got a new flu that comes out. Every year you got to get a new flu, shot. Because of the flu last year, the flu shot you took last year doesn't affect the flu that was out last year. It's a whole new flu. It's H1N1. It's the swine flu,
yeah.
bird flu, Zika, whatever. And it's like every year there's a new flu out there. But then I'm like, well, if everybody's getting a flu shot, and you couldn't even get a flu shot. I had friends that were trying to get flu shot, and like every place was ran out. But the hospitals were filled with people with the flu. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like if everyone's getting the flu shot, how come everyone's got the flu?
Yeah, I don't feel like it's that effective. The last time I actually got a flu shot, I got the flu right after it. Terribly.
They inject the flu in you.
I've
Yeah,
never
I
had
felt terrible.
I've never had a flu shot. And I don't get the flu.
I was a one and done
here.
situation. Honestly, I think I get a lot of fresh air. I don't get sick that often, but if I do, you know what? I get over it.
Right.
I changed my diet. We do all grass-fed meats now. I cut my carbs way, way down. I drink a lot less beer. Last night,
Except when you and I get together.
yeah, sometimes we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. We
But,
think you're 21 again.
Yeah. But yeah, I modified my lifestyle because I have a $10,000 deductible, so that changed things. I know that we could go after this thing, and if New York State really went after it and developed a plan, screw the federal government. We don't need to deal with them.
Right.
And we're a wealthy state. I thought for a while maybe we would lose Wall Street, but now I realize the casino is going to be here forever. I mean, they put
they're
in
building more.
Well, they put all those supercomputers in, and all that stuff is hardwired. I don't know if your guy just spent $100 million putting in a new cable between the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange so that he could be 0.08 seconds faster. If something like ridiculously small amount, but in that amount of time, he's making money. He's banging because he gets the information quicker than anybody else, and his computers are buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, making all these. He's going to get his $100 million back and then some. Which is just, it's all ridiculous.
Money hungry grubs.
Well, that's the thing. Like, when I hear Chump talking about how great the economy is because the stock market, I'm like, the stock market is 90% of the stock market is owned by less than 10% of the population.
I was just about to say, how many people are actually out there playing the stock market? How many?
They're not.
Right.
Less than
10%.
It's about 8% controlling north of 90%.
And people forget,
It's insane.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the Obama administration? As he got out of office, the economy was already going up before
Yeah.
Dick Face got in there.
I told people, I mean, I couldn't take another 4 years of Obama. My business was rocking. It actually, so I could see the house of cards falling under George Bush. I knew we were running on Mountain Dew and cookies, and you can't run a marathon that way. And they blew the housing market up. I could see that coming. A $500,000 mortgage, nothing down, come on. No interest.
Yeah.
Okay. So that blew up, and we had a little hiccup in our business. And then right after he took office, things started to pick up, and we expanded from 4 employees to 15
Right.
over the next 8 years. And it was a good kind of thing. We didn't have to worry about. I didn't think about it. You remember the nervous times, though, in 08. I mean,
Oh,
when
yeah.
stock market crashed.
I owned a business at that time, yes.
That guy came in. It was like a janitor coming in after an all-out bar fight, and shit's everywhere, and there's puke and broken bottles. Like, who the hell wants to clean that shithole up? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to run for president. I was like, who is this guy? This is not a good situation to want to step into.
Right.
And I thought they made the best of it. If this clown had to actually deal with that now,
and that's it. Like we're regressing back to where Bush left us.
Yeah.
No,
this is so supposedly we're in great economic times, and these guys just gave $2 trillion. They added on to the deficit, and they somehow think that's coming back. And I'm like, that's gone. That's not coming back. You're not going to have that money. It's like me selling equipment and being like, wow, look at my bank account. Then when it's time to go do a job, I'm like, oh, shit. We spent the money. Remember that vacation we went? Oh, now we don't have the equipment. What do we do? It's going to be hopefully.
I'm sick and tired of hearing about this damn deficit. Honestly, and then like we're not looking at things like legalizing marijuana, fixing our infrastructure, things of like that nature that can actually
help.
Right.
Well, the people that have the money, as I said, less than 10% of the people have 90% of the stocks. So they only pay. Most of these guys have figured it out. They pay themselves in stock options. So I'm in the 30% income bracket, or 27 now because they bumped me down the whopping 3%. Those guys are starting in the 15% bracket before they buy horse farms, before they buy the New York Mets, before they do all the things to scam their rate down even lower. The money is out there still. This money didn't evaporate. It's just now it's concentrated in the hands of so few. And I'm talking
few.
Very, very, very few have so goddamn much money. There's a family that basically helped push him over the line. They gave $100 and some million to Mitt Romney's campaign, and were pissed they didn't get it. So then they teamed up with Breitbart, with Assface there. What's his name?
Breitbart.
Yeah, and they knew they had to get the message out, so they started on this big campaign, and they didn't even like Trump. They couldn't. Ted Cruz wasn't electable. Yeah, because he's a piece of shit too. So they went after him. So, but she said, "Listen, if we get in, I think they're the Millers is the last name. This guy hates people. I forget what his first name is. He hates people. He values them based on how much money they have. So if you're a policeman, you're like you're a piece of trash. Because this guy invented. He was one of the early guys to invent software to defeat Wall Street, and he became an overnight billionaire. And then he sold the software. But he literally hates people. If you're on welfare, you're a negative person.
Right.
They don't believe in the education system at all. They want to get rid of public schools.
Did you see today? They want to do away with after-school activities. Did you see that one?
Really?
Today?
Wow, that's great.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, let's do away with after-school activities. That's oh my God.
No, it's stupid.
Started.
So, but what she said, though, is if we get you elected, I'm picking cabinet people. Now, this woman had never served in office ever, knew nothing about the government, flies down to Washington and starts picking people. And she picked some people that were so horrendous that even Trump himself they were like, ah. I mean, she picked Jeff Sessions, Betsy DeVos.
No good person ever smoked weed. Anybody that smokes weed is not a good person.
Yeah, that's Jeff Sessions.
That's Jeff Sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny when they do the parody on him on Saturday Night Live. I'm like, is that him?
Oh, it's hilarious, right?
Oh my! It's
Saturday
creepy.
Night Live has been killing it with.
How hard is it though, dude? How hard is it? All you have to. I mean, my dad always said the truth really is stranger than fiction. You don't have to do a parody. You just gotta just say it like they said it,
right? And
fucking laugh your ass off.
The truth is funny.
It really is.
Have you watched our cartoon president on Showtime at all?
Oh yes,
that's hysterical too.
Have you ever seen Idiocracy?
I've seen that. No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, it's literally what's going on right now. It's in a parody version, but it's not that far off. It's like one of those things that came as like a joke, and it became almost like a documentary. It's really, really scary.
It's amazing how pitiful of a person too. I mean, here it is. 2 Playboy bunnies came out today and said that they had affairs with him, or he touched. No, the one was on The Apprentice that he touched her, groped her, or whatever. It's funny now they're using his same deal because he sued 1 million people over the years because he's a piece of shit.
Right.
And he didn't pay a bunch of people because he's a piece of
shit.
Yeah.
On top of not paying his taxes and everything else.
Oh yeah. I mean, the city of New York lost $1 billion in taxes on one building alone over the last 40 years because they scammed their way out of it.
Well, he's got that nice university, right? Like golf course in Puerto Rico. And
oh my God.
Well, you know what? Let's get off the aggravation conversation because talking about that asshole really aggravates me, and I don't want to get. We're here to talk about.
I want to
see
him do the Mudfest.
I want to talk about the Mudfest.
Yeah. And I tell you what, when I do get depressed thinking about this stuff, because I do actually care about my country,
right.
I'm a patriot. Then I just have to go back to that way. I've got to dive into something positive because otherwise,
you get frustrated. And we talk about this a lot on Back Talk. That's here on Tuesdays and Fridays here on on Disruption Network, and every now and then I try to stay off the political conversation because I like to stick to music and local events and stuff like this. But it's in the day and age that we're living, it's
so
hard to
yeah.
stay off the political
because
conversation.
Music and stuff are actually, it plays a huge effect in the politics right now.
I want to see 30, 40, 50 million people in Washington taking a shit right in the street, not leaving, saying, I'm not going to leave until you ask me to stay. You guys are going to do your goddamn job. And I'm really encouraged by this one last thing I'll say is that kid that just won in Pennsylvania. He's a military vet, and he said, you know what, I'm not going party lines here. He's a registered Democrat, but they've got an organization for vets, and they're funding themselves because now they spent $200 million on that campaign. They're going to have to rerun again in November. Yeah. It's crazy. $200 million. Couldn't we spend $200 million any worse?
Yeah, right.
I don't think so. Horrendous. But what's come out of it is these candidates are actually starting to show up. And, this is a guy that fought for our country. Yeah, I want to hear from them. I don't want the guy with 5 deferments because he had, bone spurs or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, right. Or was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and has no idea what it's like to live on the streets or in the ghetto or actually, walk to school and not get beat up. You know what I mean?
Claw your way up from the bottom.
I'd like to see more people running without any party affiliation. You know what I mean? Like go in there as, maybe an independent or whatever, but
I just switched. Here's what we need. I've been thinking about this a long time. I used to call it the brain party, the third party, and I got a buddy of mine he's kind of a pain in my ass because he's a Republican. He always tells me he's right, and I tell him he's not. But I switched to the Independence Party. But I don't think it's ever going to gain traction. We need a party that's just called the Labor Party. They've got it in England, and I think it would catch. And the Labor Party represents us in the middle.
I like
that.
And
that's why I felt like at the last election, Bernie should have ran as an independent. Shouldn't have tried being a Democrat. We've seen how they screwed him over.
Yep.
And it got to the point where nobody trusted either side, and it became like choosing between a turd and a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, which one do I go to? And my first time ever, since I've been old enough to vote, I voted. And this past one, I'm like, I can't in good conscience vote for either of those people. No. And even if Bernie went and ran and lost, and which everyone was saying, well, you're just going to hand it over to Trump. Maybe not. But here's the point. You got somebody out there who stood by the party line, kind of like Ross Perot did back in the day, and say, you know what, there's a third party here. And maybe he might not win, but the next guy coming up says, you know what, I'm going to run independent.
We've got to push. And it's like you guys you started this. We started our mud run. We started from nothing. And at times you feel like, what am I doing?
Don't be afraid to fail.
Well, that's the whole thing. When this idiot says it's easy and I got all the answers, I'm like, hard problems aren't easy. Hard problems are hard. Don't lie to me. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. And we're all going to have to do it together unless you got some fucking magic wand that I don't know about. This is going to be hard.
And I think a lot of people are getting so fed up right now, and they see both sides are getting kind of like, you don't know who to trust, so they're like, you know what, screw you guys. I want something different.
If there was that to latch onto, it's going to get – I think there's a real appetite for change. Real change, though, not the phony baloney that we're sold. So April 14th, right? We're talking about – we're back to Mud Run.
Switch it up now.
So we're going to have stage set up at the finish line, too, and we're going to have
that was a bad segue,
Oh, yeah, but sometimes I feel like you just got to slam your head against the wall. Just, all right, I'm popping out of this.
Speaking of slinging mud, we got the Mudfest.
Yeah. So Old Maine's going to be playing at the finish line.
Yeah. Now you have the Army truck, right?
Yeah, I'm working on that. I think he's going through a divorce, so
oh no,
we're gonna get something.
I
Don't
promised
worry.
the boys an Army truck.
No, we're gonna deliver. Okay? Last year we had a little f up with that too, but it's gonna be great. And then what I'm thinking is, so we'll have the slip and slide right there. So it's the bam bam bam. It's the trifecta.
Yeah.
You hit the warp wall. So literally, as a spectator, you can go up. You got the beautiful pond right there, and you can watch really from that vantage point. If you're there in the morning. If you go up a little bit higher, so let's say you just stay down by the stage, right? You watch, you listen to Old Main. You got Paul Bunyan. You got the slip and slide. We're not sure what we're gonna call it yet. The Warp Wall. You're gonna look over and see Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's on the 5-mile course. Ring the Bell.
Ring the Bell
is right there, and then you only have to venture up the hill a little bit, and then you can see Irish Ninja Warrior. We've got 3 7-foot walls that look like giant Irish flags. They have to climb over those as well. And so, yeah, right from that one field, there's just a ton to look at.
Yeah, there's a lot of grueling obstacles, too. You mentioned Old Main. Let's talk about the other bands that are coming in. I kind of pulled some strings and had some good bands show up this year. We had some great bands, actually.
Oh, it's not the best lineup yet.
Not that previous lineups haven't been great, because they've all been great. And I want to thank everybody for donating their time to come in and play this Mudfest for us.
Yeah.
But it starts with Old Main, who's going to be right there at the finish line. And then at 11 o'clock, right on the main stage, we're going to have the Swamp Drivers.
Yep.
Are you familiar with the Swamp Drivers, Dan?
I haven't seen them yet.
Oh, you're
These
going to
guys
love
are
them.
cool. Yeah.
Not only are they cool, but they make their own instruments.
Yes, I knew that.
He makes instruments out of a garden hose or a shovel. He has broken down like motorcycle parts. He'll make a guitar out of it. The drummer actually beats on like trash cans and stuff. They're awesome.
And
They're
they got a good sound.
Great band. Yeah, definitely blues rock driven. Very, very good. Awesome
Seems
band.
like a perfect band for the Mudfest.
Really is. Really
Yeah.
is. I think they're a perfect fit. You can check them out, theswampdrivers.com. Great band. In fact, every Monday, Terry, the guy who makes his own guitars and stuff, he puts a video out of like, oh, I made this guitar today, and he puts it on and he gets like tens of thousands of people to watch it.
Wow.
It's amazing what they're doing, and they're doing it at a high level. After the Swamp Drivers, my good friends, they're buds of mine, and they've been playing for a couple of years now. Simple Props will be there.
Yeah, they're great.
And they come and they deliver every year, and they're a mix of, modern rock, classic rock, whatever. They're a good party band.
Yep.
And then after Simple Props is Mark Barden's band. And Mark is a phenomenal guitar player. Phenomenal, right?
Yeah, and their bassist.
And the bassist is great, too.
And I think they're going to bring the B3 organ back.
Oh, yeah?
I'm telling them, bring the B3, man. We need it.
Oh, that would be great.
Yes.
So there's Third Stone Blues Band, which
Yep.
is more of a blues-driven type of
Yep.
band. And then Alternate Universe is his other band. Both
Yeah.
of them, they
lead
combine.
female singer.
Oh, she's incredible.
She is.
And they do everything from, like, Motown to, like, classic rock, The Police. So it's a wide range of music.
And also, Natalie Barden has been getting up and playing, and then they have a friend that gets up there, and Natalie's
incredible.
She has gotten nothing but better over the years. It's been really special. I cry every time she sings.
Seriously, man. And if you go on my YouTube page, I did post last year I posted a video of Mark and Natalie doing a duet together.
Yep.
And it is very touching. And you can tell every year she gets better and better and better. And she's a little more comfortable being up there, too. Because the first couple of years, you could see the little timid girl, and now she's, like, up there doing her thing. And she knocks it out of the park, man.
It's amazing.
She knocks it out of the park.
Oh, and just watching Mark from year one, he hadn't picked his guitar up that year after Daniel died until the day of the Mudfest. And I remember seeing him up there, and he just played with so much emotion. It was just raw. I mean, he just laid it out there. And every year now, since then, it's like he's I don't want to say he's gotten used to this, but it's, he's had to pick himself up and go again, but he plays with such passion.
He does.
Up on the stage. It's what you can't, and I'm glad you've got them earlier, because a lot of times people are scooting out, either they're drunk or they're cold or both, and
Yeah, they need to be seen.
they need to be seen. They're so good.
And usually by the time they come on, because in the previous years, we've had them go on last. And usually who's there to last are the people from Connecticut. It's always Newtown, always in the house. They always hang at the end. And
All our
the way-
volunteers
all the
and-
volunteers, yeah. But this year we decided to bump them up a little earlier. That way they get a bigger crowd and
More exposure,
more
yeah.
exposure, exactly. And then after rounding all that out is the darlings of the Mudfest. I got to say they're the darlings of the
yeah.
Mudfest because backed by popular demand, Grit and Grace.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And they run the run.
Well, Jackie runs the race.
Yep.
And she's awesome. I mean, she's in great shape, and
She
she has
runs,
a great
then
time.
sings?
She runs and then sings. Yeah, she does.
That's a trooper right there.
She's awesome.
And then
Jackie
she's
rocks.
going to Amsterdam after our event. I think, to play that night.
They have a gig.
Wow.
No, they have a gig somewhere close. I think that's what it was. They wanted to play.
Oh.
They wanted to play last because the gig is relatively
So
close.
she's gonna run, play a gig, then leave, and,
and
go play another gig. Wow.
Well, she's in great shape, and
Is she sponsored by Red Bull?
and she's an athlete, and she wants to do it, and she runs the
Yeah.
race every year, and she's all for it. So
And we're gonna have Gary Robertson Jr. on the up on the monkey bars too, and I don't want to forget about him. He's
can't forget about him.
No, and he's a trooper. I'll tell you what, Gary usually gets hammered the night before, loses his truck keys, and comes in on 2 wheels. But once he's there, man, he really revs the crowd up. Usually there's a keg of UC up somewhere up on the hill up there, and people are partying and having a good time.
What was cool is like last year when we were doing, checking out the monkey bars, and you're coming up the hill. We started where they had the barbed wire. They got to swim under the barbed wire, and we went straight up the hill. And he's like, "Yeah, you just go straight up." And I'm like, "All right, how the hell are we gonna find this?" And all of a sudden, I just hear this band in the distance, and you get up there, and like they're up on the platform playing, and everyone's doing the monkey bars. I'm like, "This is really cool." It's like a whole separate party. It's like that, in the middle of the event, and I don't know. I just sat there, and I sat there probably about a good hour watching people doing it.
Good point, because I feel like there is pockets of parties throughout the course.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Every
there is.
single, and I'm not saying that people drink on the course. I didn't say that. Okay.
We're not saying that.
We don't. Yeah, that didn't happen. But I hear the party up at the walls, up in the woods. Those guys rock it up there. And each one of those little pocket parties, they have their own chimney log. So I deliver those up there, and so they got their own little fire torch going, and it's kind of cool. Like I cut into it like different letters, and so it burns in as the day goes on, and so it's kind of cool to go up and see how they're doing. Usually they're trying to get me to drink at like 8 in the morning. I'm like, I can't do that, man. I can't.
At least 9. I mean, come on.
I got to make it. I'm better than I used to be. I try to get towards the noon hour.
Right.
I try to be at least near there. I'm not saying it happens, but it's tough.
We got to give some love and respect out to our sponsor too. For as far as the stage goes, TMS Trailer Marketing Services. Jeff Moyer, he delivers the stage every year and the back line. So we want to thank Jeff, and also our boys from U Rock Production, Jeff Clanton and Daryl. They're there year in and year out with the sound and the production, and they always knock it out of the park.
It's phenomenal. I've really enjoyed getting to know Jeff. I've known Jeff Moyer my whole life. I mean, him and his father and my father were best friends growing up. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad sat with Jeff's father when he passed away of cancer. He was there for the last few months with him. He'd just go over and sit with him, and yeah, it was a tough deal. But yeah, they've been good family friends.
Oh, great.
So yeah, it's and you know what this shows me too is just this real sense of community that we have, and the people from Connecticut are blown away. I mean, they're in an area, they're a bedroom community in New York. It's an affluent town. The Bardens aren't rich by any stretch, but it's a rich community. And then I told them, I said, you guys, when you come up here, you're going to see what the spirit of generosity really is up here. I mean, people come out and do amazing things.
Really do.
One of my volunteers, she's going through chemo right now, and she's texting me, I can't wait to be at Mudfest. I'm going to be all healed up, and I can't wait to volunteer.
Wow. Cool. How many volunteers do you have total?
About 150.
Are you looking for more?
We sure are.
You are?
Yeah.
And if they're interested in volunteering, how
they
can
go
they get in touch with you?
Yeah, just go to bardenmudfest.org website and click on the volunteer button. It's super easy. We want your information in there so that way we can send you updates. We have a couple of planning meetings that we do prior to the event. And, we're always trying to get better at it. So we're trying to get everybody up and on the course. It's a shit show the morning of if you don't know the course. I've learned the hard way, man. I have these kids show up from Morrisville and they're in sneakers. Year 2, it's snowing out. I mean, it's a mud run.
Yeah.
And you're in sneakers and jeans. I don't know where we're going here, but and I'm like, they don't know where they're going. I don't know where I'm going. They're looking at the map and they're just driving around lost.
What kind of footwear would you suggest for people running the race?
So totally the best footwear is Played Again Sports. If you don't have them, get yourself a cheap pair of soccer cleats. They're really the most effective. I'm not really excited about those on my slip and slide, but if you can keep them up and slide down it. They also punch holes in the dumpsters at Paul Bunyan. In the plastic. But, whatever. That tends to be the best, and then duct tape.
Duct tape?
Yeah, just to keep the debris out. you can make a little bit of a collar go around your ankle, give you a little more support for twisted ankles if that's a concern, and then you go around the bottom to kind of link it.
So no hiking boots, huh? No like.
I wouldn't want anything valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like I certainly wouldn't. I don't think you'd have the traction. The good part about soccer cleats is they're a very stable platform. So when you're going up the hills, you can kind of kick in.
Gotcha.
And they're not spinning out like a hiking boot. So if I was to run it, that's what I would say. Yeah.
It's a good tip. And then probably wear like some sort of sweatpants or maybe like a spandex or something too.
Spandex.
Right? Spandex.
Nothing that's going to soak water because you're going to immediately be in tarred and feathered.
The second you enter that race.
You remember tarred and feathered?
Oh yeah, I do. We're actually going to post the video that we ran last year. We need to post that up really soon and put it back up on the site.
What's that called? Ball shrinkage, I think.
Yeah.
that was cold that day.
Oh, my God.
And the day before was like 75, 80 degrees,
Right.
and then the next day it was cold as balls.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, listen, Mr. Camera Guy over here didn't want to get in, so.
Todd said he needed help.
Yeah,
I stepped up to be the helpful guy.
101 excuses, this guy.
So I was super hungover when I kind of revamped tarred and feathered because the first year, you're like, oh, let me make these ponds. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm really hungover. It was like 2 years ago. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to dig the bottom so they're just a regular shape. I'm going to put islands where you think like, oh, I'm going to get to that island, but there's this 7 or 8 foot deep hole that you got to cross before you get to that.
It's like playing Frogger.
Yeah,
You're the real life Frogger in this.
There's no getting out of it. You're going to get muddy.
Right.
And that's fine. I don't want to get sued for, misrepresenting this thing. If I say it's a mud run and there's no mud.
Oh, there's mud.
Oh, there's mud. Yeah.
Mud, snow, everything.
Yeah, and I feel like the snow is gonna be gone. I'm not crapping my pants yet, but if it is around, we're gonna make snowmen. I don't know.
We got Kendra checking in from Jacksonville. She says hello.
Hi, Kendra. Thanks for tuning in, Kendra. Miss you. Hope you're doing well down there in Jacksonville. So we are hanging with Dan Williams from the Barden Mudfest. For more information on the Mudfest, if you want to participate in the Mudfest, you can go to bardenmudfest.org. Or like we said earlier, too, even if you don't want to participate in the Mudfest, you just want to watch your friends and loved ones get muddy and struggle throughout the course, you pay a couple bucks to park, and the rest of it's free.
Well, you got
hang out.
great bands and music.
It's
music.
It's $5 per carload.
It's $5. Okay.
$5 to park, and you can have 4 people in there, so we're talking $1.
It's a
$1 and a
no-brainer.
quarter, and then for all that good music, and then just to see people just get totally effed up.
Yeah.
It's
true.
And we got great Saranac this year. The Blueberry Blonde is going to be there.
Yeah.
The Tropical Storm. I don't know if you've had that.
I haven't had
what
that
is
one
that?
yet.
Oh, it's
Is
delicious.
this going to be the summer beer?
I think it is their summer beer. They did one, a Winter Storm. I forget what they called it. But yeah, that's delicious. And also, we're going to have a peach tea.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. Well, for those that, don't want to drink beer,
Right.
but don't want to drink water. Yeah. I drank one with Damon the other day, and it was great.
Nice. Big ups to our boy Damon Call from
Saranac
Brewery.
and the guys in McCrate, they've been on board from the beginning, and they've been wonderful.
Yeah, good,
super helpful. And actually, I think Nick Matt's going to run this year.
No.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, he is.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. He stopped in the office when I was chatting with Damon, getting plans together.
Really?
And I was like, dude, you got to do it. He goes, well, I got to get working out right now. Here's the thing about it.
You sure Nick or Fred?
Nick.
Nick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? Is he the son, the younger one?
What? There's Nick and Fred.
Nick and Fred.
Oh, you mean Nick Jr.?
Junior.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm thinking the old man over. I'm like, no way.
No, Junior. No,
Oh,
no.
yeah. I can see him. The one that looks like Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha.
So, but to that point, anybody can run this thing, and it's not a run; it's a hike. I'm calling it a 3-mile Adirondack hike, and also we get you kind of pumped up. We get you thinking about what those people went through. Think about what the Bardens went through and have been going through.
Right.
I'm asking for you to go out and give an hour and 15 minutes, a good hard effort hour. I think the fastest on the course is going to probably be like 35, 40 minutes.
Have you ever timed it?
I think we're going to probably time the 5K next year. We're timing the 5-mile this year.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yep, and we did that again last year. So that's our competitive, if you will. That starts off first. We have 2 heats, and we're actually almost sold out on the 5 mile already.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, we're at 1,000 runners at this point, just shy of 1,000, barely. 2 years ago, we had 1,000 runners total. And we really see people signing up down the stretch here. You know, people don't commit. They like to go last minute, which is fine. It's
Well, they want to test out the weather.
right.
You know.
It's going to be what it is. Listen, pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Go to bardenmudfest.org. Get
Right.
yourself signed up. And I'm telling you right now, getting uncomfortable is the most comfortable feeling ever. Really. Well, it's that I'm telling you, beer tastes so much better after doing something hard.
Right.
It's
It's
part of-
always a reward, you know. Like
Yeah, if I go do an Adirondack hike and you get back to the car and it's like, you crack that first one, tastes so good.
It's always refreshing.
Yeah.
Could we give some shout outs to some more of your sponsors too? Give
Yeah,
them some love?
absolutely. Clinton Tractor has been on board since day one.
It's our man John.
Johnny Cal.
Yeah.
He's been great. I don't know if I'm going to get him to run this year. I think he's out. But
I want to get him on the show. Actually, we need to get Johnny on the show. Anyways, continue on.
Yeah, New York Sash.
New York Sash always been a huge supporter.
Always, yep. Scott's great people. Let me think here.
PepsiCo.
We're not sure yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I can't start rattling off.
They're
sponsors.
it's
Saranac McCraith.
MPW.
Yeah.
Those guys donate a ton of time to our marketing. I'm telling you right now, they are phenomenal.
Big ups to my boy Jeff Storm, man. He's like an old mentor of mine from back in my K-Rock days. Was like my first program director, and I got a lot of love for that man. A lot of love, and they knocked it out of the park with that video they did with the kids.
Oh, we spent a lot of time, and I'll tell you, Jeff is very meticulous. When we did the radio shots, I was in there for 3 hours. I mean, I was like, am I that bad? And he's like, no, you're doing fine, Dan. You're great. Can you say it this way, though? All right, yep, that's pretty close. Yeah, it felt like that commercial. Also, New York Central Mutual, those guys have been on board since day one, too, down in Edmonston, and they've given us more money again this year.
Oh, cool. Insurance company.
Yep. And my buddy, Mike Hall, he's got a machine shop business over in Vernon, Quality Manufacturing. They've been super generous over the years. They've been on board since year one of our top sponsors. And they run the monkey bars for us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun. They bring their side-by-sides up. They volunteer. And when everybody's hung over the next day, they're the first ones there picking up tape, picking up garbage.
That's awesome.
They're just super, super people. Yeah, Mike and Terry.
Very cool. What about our tent friend?
Oh, Andy.
Gotta give some love to
Andy Roberts. Yeah,
Andy's the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy came the first year, the night before the Mudfest, and I had Brownie Tent was doing the tents that year, and he goes, "Man, they didn't put any of the guards on the stakes. I'm gonna go run home and get those for you. You need any chairs? You need tables?" And we didn't know what the hell we were doing. I got heaters. So you need. And he goes, "I'm gonna run home." I go, "Where do you live?" He goes, Holland Patton." Holland Patton is not exactly around the corner, But sure shit, he came back, and then the next day, he comes and he runs with Sean Corrigan. I don't know if you know Sean.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. These two drunkards show up, and they run, and we're doing the farmer's carry afterwards, and he's got a belly full of Saranac. He's supposed to pick his wife up at the airport, and he bounces on that. He doesn't pick her up. She's super hot on that. And I just remember watching him do the farmer's carry, and his kilt is coming down, his ass is hanging out. He's hugging me. I'm coming back every year, and yeah, we've been friends ever since.
Great man.
Yeah,
Great man.
super.
And he has what's the name of the tent company?
The Tent Gallery.
The Tent Gallery. Yes.
Yeah.
Great, man. Are you going to do the fireman? Well, you said the fireman carry, but the log carry, too.
Yeah.
We made Chicken do that last year.
Yep.
And he kind of like a relay race almost in a way, right?
Yeah, so we're definitely going to do that again. And, we do want to mention bring your kilts. Everybody's dressed up. It makes it more fun.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, definitely.
Come dressed up if you are running as a team, it'd be cool if you all came in uniform.
Oh, my God. If you get on the website and you look at some of the team names, it's just absolutely hilarious. People are very creative.
It's cool because I feel like every year it grows. It gets bigger and bigger. But there's got to be a few people that have run it year in and year out, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Is there any six-timers?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we've got people that have been coming every year that drive or fly up from Georgia. There's a guy that flew in from Hong Kong last year.
Wow.
I think Silbert's done it like three or four times now.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to
Guy
say
coming from Hong Kong, huh?
yeah, he's family to the Bardens, and yeah, he actually the first year thought, who is this crazy SOB up in New York that's going to put this run on? And the Bardens didn't know me really that well, and so he said, I want to Skype with you because I want to know what you're doing here. We don't, they didn't trust what I was going to do.
Of course.
And it was fine. So he was in China, so we Skyped, and after the conversation, I still felt like he was like, I don't know about this, but
This guy's sketchy.
yeah, what's he gonna do? And then he came to the event, and as he said to me last year, he was like, I don't give a shit if I got to fly from China, I got to be here, because we that's what we're building towards. We're that single day festival that I got to plan my schedule around this thing, and we're gonna have a freaking rocking time, and we're gonna get muddy, and we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna charge ourselves up. The message of the day is, strong body, strong mind, strong spirit.
And help each other.
Yes, and be good soldiers in the world. When we got enough soldiers, we need good soldiers. Go out and spread good. Whatever it is. Buy someone a cup of coffee. Just say hi.
Right.
I got a janitor that he, in our school, we've been running inside because there's like 17 feet of snow outside. And this guy is grumpy old man. He's just pissed at the world. And I'm running the kids in the halls, and he's like, rah, rah, he's swearing. And every day I worked on him for like 2 weeks. I'm like, hey, buddy, how's it going? Because no one ever talks to the janitor.
It's like the guy in The Simpsons, right?
Yeah. Now him and I are like on, we're best buds.
Oh,
but I'm
cool.
just winning him over. I'm like, I go, I said, I don't want to run in these halls any more than you want me running these halls. But we got to run in these halls because it's snowing like a bastard outside. I can't do it. But I'm gonna pick up my stuff. We're gonna be respectful, and then we're gonna get out on that outdoor track as soon as we can. Okay, how's that sound? He's like, okay, all right. But I could have gone the other approach and been like, screw you, and I'm just gonna act like a dick too. And where are we gonna get here?
One of the things I mentioned yesterday on the air was when people get done with the event and they're cold, they're muddy, they just ran 3 miles, like 20 different obstacles, but everyone's in really good mood.
Oh yeah.
They get done. They're like they're happy, and they're not like pissy and mad or upset. Like everybody's in a good mood, and just want to get some food and some beer and hang out. And people are out there. They're not even cleaning up. They're sitting there all muddy, dancing to the bands and having a grand old time, man.
I ordered up the kind of weather where you can just be out. I'm hoping. Mother Nature has a way of balancing things out. So we've had a pretty good stretch of cold here. It's gonna turn off, and it's gonna be perfect right at the right time.
Turn up that global warming.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that. Yeah, I'm gonna turn the heat up. Well, I'll tell you right now, the fire. We can make it hot. We're gonna have our fire sculpture this year. I don't know if I could pull a picture up. It's a double jug, as I call it, maple. So it looks like the peace sign, and it's gonna be the Barden Cauldron this year. It's a maple that was up the road from me about 4 miles. And
How big is this thing?
It's big. I mean, I hauled it on my lowboy. It probably weighs. It took 2 loaders to pick it up and load it on my lowboy. So yeah, it's big. So what we're gonna do every year, I try to come up with a different fire sculpture. So it's gonna be the centerpiece, if you will, and so we're gonna plant it in the ground, similar to where I had the big logs last year that spelled Barden Mudfest. And then I'm going to stack logs around it and build like a Lincoln log kind of structure that are hollow, and make those out of like a wood that burns faster, like a basswood or an ash. And so those pipes will be blowing flames out sideways in all directions. And then the cauldron, we'll light the cauldron at 5, or for the 5 mile, at the start of 5, and that'll kick off. And then at the start of the 5K, we'll light those other tubes. And then they'll start to burn, and then eventually the whole thing will just, morph into one big-ass fire.
Excellent.
I think you need a Halloween version where you got, like, zombies chasing people.
I've been threatening to do one on our farm, actually, to, put on an event.
And I think you need to talk to Josh Reel. Yeah. I think the two of you could put on some sick stuff, man.
It's just we've got to put our imagination to work here and keep doing things to make this area better.
Yep.
We've got some gems. I mean, you think about the Boilermaker. It's the biggest 15K in the country. It's an awesome party. And I said, why the hell can't we do the same thing in my town?
And the Heart Walk, we just got
Right,
them.
the Heart Walk is huge. It's amazing. We raise more money here than they do in almost every major city.
Yeah,
It's insane. And in, what is it, like 20-degree weather? Last year
Right.
was like negative.
It's frigid.
Yeah.
The one thing I love about the Mudfest, though, is everybody that helps each other. Like, if people are struggling along the course, they help each other. You need help getting over that wall. Here's a couple guys that are going to help you get over that wall.
Oh, yeah.
Or somebody's struggling on the monkey bars, you know, they're going to help you get through the monkey
You'll
bars.
see people in the mud pit, and there'll be somebody on the monkey bars, and they'll be standing on their shoulders going across. That kind of thing, taking one for the team.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that was the spirit of Daniel, and something that we felt like we want to embody in our event. And as I tell people, today's training day. It's got to start somewhere, and I'm thinking here. It's just the way.
Well, creating events like this, and with the basis of this event on, definitely create some dialogue of what's really going on in the world today. And
And for our communities,
you're being part of the change, man.
Our town, it's the biggest event that happens in Deansboro. We used to have the field days, and
Bigger than the Antique Fest? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we're getting there.
No, you are getting there for sure.
Yeah, we're going to have a parking problem sooner or later.
Well, I noticed last year when I came out, last year was my first time ever attending, and I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be kind of busy. And then I got stuck in the traffic. I was about a mile down the road waiting in line. I'm like, holy crap, this is like
We
this is a
learned
real
from-
deal.
Yeah, we learned from that last year. It seemed like everybody showed up at once, so we got the parking situation straightened out this year. We're gonna get people in quicker. We got some designs for that.
Oh, cool.
I mean, you learn. That's hopefully right, or you.
But it's just, growth. It just shows the growth of the event, too,
Yeah, I mean, we exploded last year. I mean, we had 500 more runners than we had the year before, which is pretty huge.
There ever going to be a cap?
Yeah, I think so. We've already capped the 5 mile, and I think we're at. I've been pushing my wife to go higher on that. The other thing is we don't want to keep our volunteers out there all day long. We want them to come back and party and have fun.
Of course.
So I just feel like I want to keep that intimate sense of the event too, where maybe we cap the whole thing at 2,500 runners. The goal was to try to approach 2,000 this year to grow, but not grow crazy, because then you have all the problems. And I've seen it. I've been to races where the registration tent's a disaster.
Yeah.
My wife does a phenomenal.
She does.
She's
The
so
whole
scored
family. You got to give some love to the whole family.
Oh,
too.
the whole family. My brother-in-law, he handles the EMS deployer. He does everything with that aspect of it, which is key. He organizes the fire. He does a ton with the kids' course.
Both your sisters?
Yeah. It's tougher for my sister in Connecticut, but she puts out so much vibe down that way, just gets people pumped up. We've actually sold out. The hotels, the Hampton Inn, sold out already.
Oh, great.
Yeah, by the way, they don't really like the mud run at the hotels around here. I tell these guys, I'm like, guys, listen, if you go in like covered in shit and you make a mess and you throw up all over your bed or you piss the bed or whatever, it's going to reflect poorly on us, and it's going to make it tougher. We used to get really good rates, and now I
jack
think
the rates on you.
Well, I think there's a lot of mud. So, but we got the hot showers after. Take care of yourself. Take all your crap off. Bring yourself some good gear to dress into to stay warm afterwards. Take all your shit, throw it in a bag, towel yourself off, and then party.
Yeah. And we do got to mention the rest of the family too. This is a family-run event. It really is. Like the whole family comes together and volunteers. The aunts and the uncles and everybody's out lending a helping hand.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we got to give the family a lot of love and
Oh,
respect.
the Joy family. Yeah, the Williamses are always out there.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fun family event.
Dan and I always say if Tori ever breaks up with me or Melissa ever divorces him, we're still in the family.
Yeah, I'm still coming to the parties.
Still coming to the parties.
Yeah. It's she stuck it out, boy. I'll tell you what. I definitely push the buttons once in a while, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
We're blessed to be in that family. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, the Joy family is great.
They are. I absolutely love them all the way top to bottom. Love them all for
Yeah.
sure. Dan, before we get out of here, let's plug it again. What was that?
I don't know. I think an accident just happened here.
We got some weird noises here on James Street. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
It's the Barden Mudfest. It's happening April 14th at MKJ Farms in Deansboro. For more information, you can log on at bardenmudfest.org. Got anything else you'd like to add?
So yeah, just take the plunge. I mean, honestly, for year 1 and 2, we had Louis, 350 pounds. His training regimen was drinking beer and eating chicken wings at the Burrow. And Louis ran that race with a backpack full of beer, I think, and got through it. 350 pounds. He did it.
Louis.
I want people to get out of your comfort zone, and then that's the only way that you can really, truly appreciate the good things in life.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than Couch Sunday after the mud run. When I finally get things picked up and get home and just grab my chocolate lab and, curl up with him on the couch.
Louis, is he your friend that made the lifestyle change too after running the Mudfest? Because I remember that story too.
Yeah, several people have done that after the Mudfest, have made significant changes, started working out. And I think that's part of the solution too. Healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit.
Get your mind, body, and soul all intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
It's a good way to find out how unhealthy you are.
Right. But you can get through it. And like as you were saying, if you can't get through an obstacle, there's certainly people there that are going to help. And also, if you can't do an obstacle, you can go around. It's know your limitations. Nobody's going to force you to do anything you don't want to do.
Yep, that is true.
And
if I could get everybody out there in Facebook land or Twitter land and YouTube land and Twitch land, no matter how you're watching this show today, please share. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know you're out there. So it would do us a huge favor if you could just click that share button for us, for sure. We need all the love and help and support that we can get around here, for sure. And we will be out there in full force at the Barden Mudfest. We're going to have the whole crew there. We got it all planned out.
Nice.
The whole crew is coming out. I don't know if any of them are running. Well, we do have a few of our crew running.
Yep.
A few guys
Some of the guys on the D-line
from
and-
Chicken's Football podcast that he has
Nice.
here on the network. They're going to be running it on the D-line, and we're going to be hanging out. But we're gonna bring our whole crew there and just have a good time with everybody. And
Maybe we'll do another pre-race run-through.
perhaps.
I think we got to fit that in. I really.
That was a great video from last year.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
hysterical.
Yeah.
The one where Z was on the rope was the best.
I'm still recovering from that, by the way.
And we were trying to figure out, somebody on our group actually do that? Did somebody actually make the swing?
I don't think anybody did.
I thought Colenso did.
I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. He failed.
I
Did
think
he?
Yeah.
I think nobody
Yeah.
made it across other than him showing us how to do it.
Dude, I do that so many times. I get carpal tunnel. I'm like a kid. I took the ropes down finally because I was concerned about leaving them up, and having them degrade. So I've actually got them in my gym.
Do
And we've been farting around them. I built a sick rock wall. You got to see it. I spray foam my barn. I've got really high ceilings, so you can do barn ball on one half, and the kids play that. And then we've got a golf simulator and all kinds of weights and stuff. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's a good little hangout.
All
And
right, go check that out.
yeah, and I've got it set up so you can clip on harness and climb the wall, and you fall off, you're fine. You're top rope and jump back on the wall, and
Oh, how cool is that?
so yeah, we're monkeying around.
You always got some fun activities kicking around the house. That's for
Let's,
damn
my
sure.
kids are like, there's nothing to do. I'm like,
What do you mean? There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do. You got a lot to do at that house.
So do you go on a so the obstacle stays there all year long, right?
Yep.
So do you ever run it like in the summertime? Do you ever?
No, but when his kids get punished, he makes the kids go run it.
Yeah. You know what? I don't go over there. I don't know what happens. It's like when I'm done, I'm done. But he leases the land to a guy that hunts. So I just out of respect for him, I don't want to push his deer around.
Mm-hmm.
We do our event, and I also don't go over much until after hunting season at all. Actually, I mean, into January. But this year, it's just I don't know. I feel like we've gotten things in a good place. So, and we're pretty organized. We've got an army of guys that come out. Corey, my main guy, and he knows a bunch of guys, and we got a ton of equipment. I mean, we do all kinds of excavations.
You got a great crew, man.
So, yeah, I mean, everybody just knows what to do, and now it's just, we had some tense moments putting Paul Bunyan up, I can tell you. We were pretty deep into some 30-packs last year, but it's otherwise it's pretty safe. It's yeah, we had some moments. My neighbor there, Andy, and I don't know if Andy's still there or not. I think Andy moved, but man, he climbed up on this on top of the A-frame, and he was just balancing.
Which is about
there.
30 feet in the air.
Yeah, dude, with dumpsters you're gonna fall into, or
Yeah.
you're gonna fall on the edge of the dumpster. Either way, it's not good at all. and he's got a beer in one hand, and he slips, and he's going down, and I'm like, oh my, I'm freaking out. I'm like, dude, this is not good. You know, we can't have somebody end up paraplegic or dead.
Did you make out all right?
He hung on, but it was close, and I'm like,
did he drop the beer?
No, he held
on. Good job.
Save the beer. Dan, this has been fun, man. We got to come back and chop it up. Maybe after we'll do a recap of the whole event.
Yeah,
we
that
come
sounds
back and
good.
do a little recap of the Barden Mudfest. For more information on the Mudfest, you can log on bardenmudfest.org. Dan, thank you so much for coming in. I want to remind everybody that can listen to this podcast and previous podcasts of EC Radio on demand at the all-new DisruptionNetwork.net. Tomorrow's show, we got an amazing talent coming in here tomorrow. Kate Devin's going to join us, and she's going to play a couple tunes for us and talk about. She just got onto the People's Choice Awards for Sammy. She didn't win the People's Choice Awards, but it was down to her
and she's
and
fairly
one
young
other.
too, right?
Yeah, it was down to her and one other person. So she was like the runner-up in People's Choice
I
Awards.
believe she's like 16, 17 years old, something like that.
She's like 19, 20, but
Is
yes.
she? Oh, I thought she was younger than that. Wow.
But yeah, she'll be in here tomorrow to perform, and we got a lot of good things happening around here. Dan Williams, you're a beautiful man. Continue all the
thank
great
you.
thing you're doing, man, and I'm looking forward to the Barden Mudfest.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
April 14th. I want to see everybody there, and we will see you tomorrow. See ya.
Sweet, man. Thank you. I'm gonna leave these little guys.
Never you mind what I'm making. You should spend some time taking a personal inventory of what you're doing for the betterment of society.
You know what the hell you're listening to? It's EC Radio.
Hey, it's Adeline Van Dyke from Coldwell Banker Faith Properties in Utica. I always get asked, why do I love real estate? It's very simple. I love my clients. I love every single thing about helping them find or sell their home. Making sure the home is solid and ready for sale, or solid and ready for the buyer's inspection, to making sure that they're getting the best rate on their mortgage, making sure they're getting the best price on their house. You know, just everything involved in the sale is vital. My absolute favorite part of real estate is when a buyer walks into the house they're going to buy. I can feel it before they even know they're loving the house. It's just that obvious. So I'd love to experience that feeling with you. So give me a call. Adeline Van Dyke, Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-404-6431. Or you can find me on Facebook or visit my website at centralnewyork.com/Adeline. Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you home.
When it's your hard-earned money on the line that you are investing into a home, it makes sense to choose a proven professional to assist you in making one of the biggest investments you may ever make. Josh's dedication of over 20 years to the home construction industry allows him to bring knowledge and experience to your doorstep. That means you can feel confident and comfortable with his service to you. Past clients love his attention to detail and thorough written reports. By allowing Priceless Inspections to help you make a well-informed decision concerning your property, you will find that a quality inspection is priceless. Follow Priceless Inspections on Facebook or call 315-525-8725.
Hi, this is attorney Nick Pasalacqua. The team of attorneys I have assembled at Pasalacqua & Associates has been carefully hand-picked to include the best trial attorneys in the particular areas of the law that we practice. Have you been charged with DWI or any other crime? Members of our team include former assistant district attorneys, now fighting to protect your rights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have you or someone you love been seriously injured in a motor vehicle accident? Members of the team at Pasalacqua & Associates include former insurance defense attorneys, now fighting to ensure that you get every penny you're entitled to. If you need legal help quick, don't waste your time or money calling anyone else. Remember, for legal help quick, you better call Nick and the team at Pasalacqua & Associates. 315-500-NICK or 315-500-6425 or visit cnytriallaw.com today.
In the Mohawk Valley, for the best real estate service, you gotta have faith. Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-735-2222 or www.centralnyhomes.com.